Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to another week of Scope Up Sports Live. My name is Zachary Giesensaw.
I'm Gia Henriken.
We've had a wonderful week of sunny skies and high temperatures here in Boulder, just to be hit with a bunch of snow and cold this morning, so we hope you're all staying warm at home.
We do have a lot to cover, so let's get straight into it.
We begin tonight with some solemn news from Boulder this week. On March 1st, 2026, Buffalo's backup quarterback Dominique tragically passed away. 23-year-old Connor was pronounced dead at the scene after allegedly losing control of his vehicle and striking an electrical pole. It was announced on Friday that Connor's memorial service will be held tomorrow, March 7th at noon. This service is open to the public and will be located at the Glenmore Ballroom on campus. Harrison Simeon has more on this developing story.
No one expected Colorado spring season to start. Curve of baseline played with mangled metal. CU quarterback Dominique was killed here early Sunday morning after a third season. Said that he went towards Boulder, Dominic left the building, crossed the road, and traffic. Barricade, getting electrical pole. Fell into the apartment and set on fire. High speed suspended. Bubbly cloud
I have left on the field.
New offensive coordinator Brendan Marion grew up in the same Pittsburgh neighborhood as Dominique, sharing a work ethic he'll remember every morning.
You see somebody every day, every morning. We meet every day at 5:30, 5 o'clock, so we'll just save a spot for him in the room.
His dedication was infectious, but so was his smile.
I mean, that was my locker buddy. Like, we were next to each other lockers, and like I said, that was my best friend, so honestly, the word to describe him is just joyous. Like, he's never down, always great energy.
Coach Deion Sanders called an emergency meeting after news broke, allowing his players to decide whether to practice on Monday. They did it for Dom.
Some of the players, this is the first time they'll lose this. So I'm advising our staff, we're going to push it.
The Buffs will wear jersey patches this season to memorialize Dom. They'll have him on their hearts for the fall, but forever remember him as a sanctuary they share.
We gotta be there for each other. We gotta keep working. We still gotta go through that mission, and it's just another why for some of the guys that maybe forget their why and stuff like that. That's what mine now.
Harrison Simeon, Scope Up Sports.
Thank you for that, Harrison. The women's basketball team is in the middle of an exciting Big 12 tournament run, and our Scope Up's crew made the trek to Kansas City this week. Here's our own Jake Chow with the latest.
Upset City. You can see the bracket. So many. Colorado and Baylor have faced earlier this season in a really close game, and all of the coaches have said how much they love the parity of the Big 12, noting that it's one of the best conferences in the nation. And that's been a big part of the Big 12's reason to get some of the glass court behind me here. Now the glass court, some of the players have noted that they've been slipping a little bit, they miss playing on the hardwood, but it's been really immersive for players and fans alike. Ads revenue coming on during timeouts, the brackets, and then of course the LED displays that have shown the court and their teams as they're doing player introductions have just been absolutely electric. And you can see here as I come out near the T-Mobile Center and the new LED courts, it is absolutely incredible. You can see here behind me as some of the teams are warming up for this next game between West Virginia and Arizona State. The winner of this match will play Colorado and Baylor. As the bracket is beginning to shape up a little bit, Kansas State and TCU will play for the first spot tomorrow in the Big 12 Tournament Championship game, which will be played on Sunday. BYU fell earlier today, so there will be no Monday finals. But the Big 12 tournament is really shaping up to be a battle of teams that have been kind of underlooked. As you look at Kansas State looking for a bid in March, looking for their bid in March, should they win the Big 12 tournament. Colorado on the bubble. Kansas was on the bubble, who was a team that was battling yesterday with Colorado. BYU was on the bubble, as I mentioned them earlier. They lost earlier today, however. And the Big 12, again, one of the best, showing why it's one of the best leagues in the nation. But I'll send it back to you guys at the desk. I've been Jake Dow here in the T-Mobile Center in Kansas City, Missouri.
The House of Pain to stay standing as the University of Colorado extended women's head coach Sarah Payne's contract through 2031 with a unanimous vote by the Board of Regents on Wednesday. Payne is in her 10th season as the Buffalo women's basketball head coach and has a 164-116 all-time record at CU. Payne hopes to continue her success with athletes on and off the court for the next 5 years. Women's hoopers also landed 4 all-conference honors. Jade Masagaya made the All-Big 12 second team after a solid senior season. Diana Walker is on the All-Big 12 defensive team for the second consecutive year. She was also an All-Conference honorable mention alongside fellow guard Desiree Wooten. Lastly, forward Logan Greer was named to the All-Big 12 freshman team.
Looking at Colorado's men's basketball, sophomore forward Sebastian Ranchik will probably miss the Bucks' senior day contest against number 2 ranked Arizona on Saturday, according to head coach Tad Boyle. The Boulder Daily Camera's Pat Rooney reported that the skilled Slovakian suffered an injury during practice just before the Buffs beat Utah in Salt Lake City on Tuesday night. While Boyle said Ranchik was day-to-day after the game, not disclosing the injury, he said the 6'10" forward will probably miss the contest against the Wildcats when asked at Thursday's practice. With Ranchik averaging 12 points and just over 5 rebounds per game, playing nearly 30 minutes per game, his absence is one to look out for developing Buffalo's front court.
Thank you guys. The men's Hoopers seemed to have things under wraps at halftime against Utah on Tuesday night. However, a 26-point lead was not enough for Colorado to cruise through the second half. The Utes fought until the final buzzer, cutting the deficit to single digits multiple times. Guard Terrence Brown led the charge for Utah, scoring a game-high 26 points. The men's final game of the regular season, meanwhile, might be its toughest. The Buffaloes hosted number 2 Arizona Wildcats on Saturday night. The Wildcats recently clinched the regular season Big 12 title and have not lost a game in 3 weeks. Freshman duo Braden Burries and Koa Pete have dominated all season and look to spoil Colorado's senior night. The Buffs have their work cut out for them in their last game before the Big 12 tournament.
Speaking of the Big 12 tournament, our very own Oliver Hayes is ready to break down the Black and Gold's chances come next week.
Hey, my name is Oliver Hayes and welcome back to this week's edition of Buffalo. Given that the Bears beat up the Buffs in Waco earlier this season by quite a number of points. I believe it was 19 in that one due to the scoring array that the Bears have. So a tough matchup for the Buffs in the first round, but they're looking to get revenge. The Buffs have been playing well down the stretch this season, and having played some of the better teams in the conference, I'm sure that with their front court, even though Sebastian Ranchik is dealing with an injury, may be able to handle the smaller Bears. Now, if we look at the second weekend, where the Buffs will have to face number 6 TCU, they have a much better matchup there, just personnel-wise, from the guards to the big men, where TCU kind of lacks. The Buffs match up quite well. They have both teams have six-foot guards in the backcourt, and I think this could be a very fun game, even though the Horned Frogs did not really bring it in the game in Boulder earlier this season, where the Buffs crushed them. And so for this game, the Buffs will need to do a lot of what they did in Boulder. They're going to need to look to push the pace. Even though they won't have the altitude, they'll need to bring the energy themselves and rely on the depth, especially for the young guys. Looking at the other games, I believe the higher seeds in the first round will win the majority of those games. And so that's why I have West Virginia, BYU, and Arizona State moving on to the second round along with the Buffs. Then you look at the third round. That's where we have the double bye team, the top 4 seeds in the conference, the top 4 in the Big 12 that look to make national championship runs on March 9th. Arizona number 2, Houston number 3, Texas Tech number 4, Kansas. Looking at the Texas Tech game, I believe that's the best player that the Bucks can get. They made it a game in Boulder, and they're looking crazy second half to go back to racing the lead that Texas Tech had at the half. The Bucks only lost by 2, and some may look at the refs due to that one. But given that the Bucks have that performance in Boulder against the Red Raiders, and they got the second time around, the Red Raiders do not have JT Toppin, and while they have momentum, the Buffs can put together a somewhat feasible performance, even though Luke Bamgoye, coming off the bench, has made an impact in the starting lineup. So a tough pull for the Buffs, but of the top 4 that the Buffs could have faced, I believe that the Texas Tech Red Raiders are who the Buffs would want to see come that third round, playing their third game in 3 days. Look at the other rounds. I believe Cincy's front court is better than West Virginia's, moving them on to that third day along with the Buffs. I believe UCF is a more well-rounded team with a better front court than BYU, especially after Richie Saunders tore his ACL against the Buffs earlier this season. And looking at Iowa State versus Arizona State in that second round, I believe TJ Otzelberger and the Cyclones will take it to day 3 to take on the Kansas Jayhawks along with the Buffs. Now, let's look at the semifinal round and seeing what the Buffs can do there. After the Buffs potentially beat the Texas Tech Raiders, that's a big potentially, I believe they will go on to take on the Kansas Jayhawks. I think the Jayhawks, given Bill Self's history, even though TJ Otzelberger is a great coach, has a great system that he's employing, given the reason that Iowa State has been so great the last few seasons, I believe Bill Self and the Jayhawks have a lineup that is made to win, especially when Darren Peterson is playing. The Jayhawks, they are tall across the board, they are tenacious, they bring the juice, they bring the energy, and Flory Badunga in that front court, I believe, is the difference maker when it comes to that game. So I believe that would be the Buffs and the Jayhawks in the semifinals round, assuming the Buffs make it that far. And given that game, they have I can go with similar reasoning to why the game would be close against Texas Tech as it would be against Kansas, given the Buffs comeback that they had in the second half against Kansas that was similar to the game against Texas Tech. But Kansas, they don't have anybody out to injury unless Darren Peterson has another mysterious absence or something like that. So the Buffs will need to have to play a much more complete game than they would have to play against Texas Tech, have to shoot the ball really, really well, and have a really nice game from their front court and hope that Sebastian Rancic is somehow healthy by that 4th day, if not that first round of the tournament, if they want to beat the Jayhawks. Looking at that matchup above with Arizona, that's the championship. Look at that matchup above with Arizona and Houston before we get to that championship in the semifinal. That will be a tough one because those two teams really go at it. But Arizona, with the depth that they had, they're top 8. They had 2 starters in Anthony Del Orso and Toby Awaka move to the bench this season due to the talent that they've brought in. And with the freshmen that they have and Brain Berries and Koa Pete, I mean, they are a heck of a team. And unfortunately, even though I like Kelvin Sampson and his legendary status with the Cougars, especially with their backcourt, and one of the best defensive players in the conference with JoJo Tugler, I have to give Arizona the edge and move them on to the championship, which now we'll look at. And somehow, some way, if the Buffs make it to the championship, I mean, I just have to say Godspeed for the Buffs, the black and gold, if they have to make it to the championship. Whoever they take on, playing their 5th game in 5 days, I mean, they could be playing number 16, Utah. That will be a tough game, playing your 5th game in 5 days, but assuming that they would have to play the best team in the conference, the regular season Big 12 champions, the Arizona Wildcats, for the reasons I just named for why they would beat the Houston Cougars, one of the best teams in the country. That's why they would most likely handle the Buffs. But, I mean, we're going to see how Colorado can do against the Arizona Wildcats this Saturday at the CU Event Center at 9 p.m. I will be there doing my usual coverage, so check out my social media. But I believe that is all for this week's edition of Buff Banner, and I'll pass it back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks for that, Oliver. Now looking at this week's trivia question. The Buffaloes are playing number 2 ranked Arizona on Senior Day tomorrow. The last time that happened, Colorado and current assistant Evan Batty upset the Wildcats in a memorable February 2022 night. So, how many points did the mayor of Boulder score on his historic senior night? Stick around after the break to find out later in the show.
The women's lacrosse team recently squared off against Army in West Point, with Army scoring first in the competition. The Buffs were left trailing for most of the first quarter until a late goal by Avery Gardner tied it up. The Buffs ran up the score, ending the half 9-1. However, a surge by Army in the second half made it 11-6. After a huge momentum shift and 2 more goals, the Buffs came away with the victory.
And we welcome you into Scott Carpenter Park on this chilly Saturday night. First pitch for the Colorado Buffaloes and Utah Utes. Season opener at Scott Carpenter for the Buffaloes. They return after a successful tournament in Dallas. Early February, they went 3-1. Utah, one of the first non-conference opponents slated in here in this very fun, action-packed schedule for Colorado. Leading off for Utah is Nico Wharton, number 18. Said Buffs 3-1. Looking to get a hot start. That one zips inside. Wharton has to kick out of the way. Number 18. Buffs rolled out a fresh new roster this year. Head coached by Colin Reynolds. That one inside. Believe sophomore Richie Biberosh on the bump getting the start. He is rounding out a starting rotation with a couple different players, a mostly senior heavy class. So a little underclassmen. Biberosh gets a high corner called for a strike. Full count. First batter of the night. Game was pushed forward an hour. Slated for 7 p.m. Chilly night in Boulder here 6 p.m. The 3-2 swung on over to first. Tapped foul will do it all again. Really exciting time in the baseball world. Buffs getting started. World Baseball Classic underway. Team USA about to start. Spring training underway as well. Got some baseball at Scott Carpenter. Wharton will tap it foul again. Playing safe, looking for that selective pitch to really chase it. Keeping the at-bat going as long as he can. Good for these batters to get long at-bats early in the game, try to wear out a starter. The 3-2, third payoff pitch in a row from Biberosh. Attacks it again. Parking lot ball. Barely escapes a car there. Close to our cameraman's car there. Big exhale. Dangerous territory right along the right side foul pole. Joshua Willis on deck. Biberosh can't put him away. Dots him up down the heart. 1 up, 1 down for the Buffs. Biberosh starts his night off with a strikeout. So number 23, Joshua Willis, will dig in. Apologize, don't know exact positions. We have likely Finn Simones at second base. Piers Hoffman in center. Chase Ambule as well there in the outfield.
Good evening, Balin.
Harrison Simeon joins us in the booth. Prez, 1 down.
Yeah, sorry to hop on a batter late, but
chases a high pitch.
Solid start from the Buffs. Get the spring season going.
Harrison, what do the Buffs need to do to start off this series with a win?
Well, I think it starts with pitching. It's always gonna start with pitching. Colorado trying to always figure out the rotation. And for Biberosh to get a start on the first home game of the year, that's big for him. He's usually an infielder, but they're confident in his arm in the series opener.
It is true. The Buffs did find pretty strong pitching in that Dallas tournament. I mentioned Biberosh fools him. Quick at bat there. Back-to-back strikeouts to start it. Has command early, and Utah is swinging away. Number 24, James Roberts, will come in trying to get the Utes' first batter of the game, potentially start a little early game rally. This is the first game of a 3-game series. We have a doubleheader tomorrow, also streamed live on ScoBuff Sports starting at 11. This game will go 9 innings as the doubleheader games go 7.
Yeah.
So full 9 going to be a big test from this Buffs pitching staff.
First ever rumble in the Rockies in club baseball
First ever.
history.
Yep.
First time these two teams have faced off. I think that's a factor. Usually Colorado, they go into the spring, they're ready to, once they're back at home, play those Colorado States, the Metros, the Mines. But Utah, a brand new foe, and a bunch of new foes on the spring schedule this season. Nebraska in a few weeks, and then Miami to end the season.
Very exciting schedule. Swing and miss there. Biberos bringing some velocity early on.
Yeah, nice start from Biberos. Get some swings and misses. That just, for those top of the order guys for Utah, damages their confidence a little bit.
First inning is important. Biberos once again tapped over to short. Finn Simones gloves it cleanly. Toss over to first in time. 1, 2, 3 inning from the Buffs. They'll bring up their bats to try and get some runs early on. Stay with us. You're watching ScoBuff Sports. We welcome you back to the bottom of the first inning. First baseman Gabe Zebrak going to dig in to try to get it started for the Colorado Buffaloes. On the mound for Utah, number 54, Samuel Butts, going to have his hands full against this very dangerous Colorado lineup that can strike 1 through 9. See if number 8 can get it going. He will look at strike number 1. We didn't get to it last inning, but for the Buffs defensively, Zebrak over there playing at first, running out the infield, Judson Stafford at second base. Simones, as Zebrak will ground this shot softly over to second base, over to first. Easy play for Utah to retire the leadoff batter. So with one out, here's Aiden Melberg. He will play in left field as the Buffs outfield goes around. President Nathan Hoffman in center field. Melberg, as I mentioned, there in left up to the plate here. Then Caden Meyer out and right. Head coach Colin Reynolds put a lot of thought into this lineup in that first Dallas tournament. Ran through it was a good 2 rotations for position players, really finding out who fits the best in certain spots. Definitely getting it more finalized. Melberg will take a strike there. He's Butts attacking the strike zone early. As I mentioned, the senior president, Nathan Hoffman, out in center field. He is on deck. Melberg will look at strike number 2. Busy day around Colorado athletics as well. Women's basketball currently in the tournament, trailing right now in the 3rd or 4th quarter.
I actually may correct you there. Colorado just took the lead.
Wow, really a big rally late.
So 5 minutes, 31 seconds. I'm pulling a little double duty here as one of the women's basketball correspondents on campus.
Mm-hmm.
I've been watching the game and watching this, so I'm calling both.
Just outside from Butts. Slipped out of the fingers there.
Yeah, channeling a little Kevin Harlan today.
2 balls and 2 strikes on number 1.
Yeah, I wasn't able to comment on Zebrak, but he's a great leadoff hitter. I believe a freshman. Played leadoff for most of the fall and did extremely well in that case. Melberg, another relative newcomer to the lineup.
One of the biggest additions for the Buffs is their speed on the base paths. When they get players on, they can make a ruckus there. There's a drop third strike over to first in time. No hits yet through 5 batters of the game. We'll see if the senior prez, Nathan Hoffman, can get it going in his final season at Colorado. He was a big proponent in making the schedule. I got to interview him about his story. He's very excited for Utah to come in, and a couple of those opponents we also mentioned, like Nebraska and Miami coming in, should make for a very fun schedule. Buffs looking to get atop the Mid-Am West after 2 years of Colorado State taking the division.
Yeah, it should be a really fun spring. They've got a pretty reloaded team. Last year, I wouldn't say it was a down year for the team, but maybe more of a retooling, trying to figure things out. Obviously, starting the year without a coach. And then now you have some more organization. Got some fresh new unis, I can tell. They look right out the packaging tonight. And it's going to be a really fun season. Hoffman, as a senior on this team, as the president, I watched him since he was a freshman. It's like watching someone grow up, watching your child. And he's gotten better every year, looking to put together a strong swan song.
Yeah. It was last fall, or I think the fall before that, I can't quite remember, where Hoffman saw 27 at-bats and didn't strike out once. Puts bat on ball consistently, a very tough out for any opposing pitcher.
He's just great at the little things because he can do it all. He can pitch. He can play in the outfield.
He's closing out games now.
Yeah, he's closing. He actually has been closing for a couple of years.
The pitch in the dirt. Shortstop Finn Simones. 44 degrees here at Scott Carpenter Park. Going to be a chilly night. We'll see if the offense gets going early and maybe dies out. Hoffman, an uncharacteristic swing.
Oh, you
we'll
jinxed
chop
him.
at we did jinx Hoffman there. Chopped at a high one. 6 up, 6 down, both sides to end the first. Nothing on the board. We go to the second. You're on Sko Buff Sports.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to another week of Scope Up Sports Live. My name is Zachary Giesenslaw.
I'm Gia Henriken.
We've had a wonderful week of sunny skies and high temperatures here in Boulder, just to be hit with a bunch of snow and cold this morning. So we hope you're all staying warm at home.
We do have a lot to cover, so let's get straight into it.
We begin tonight with some solemn news from Boulder this week. On March 1st, 2026, Buffalo's backup quarterback Dominique tragically passed away.
There, and you can send it to you if you need.
Welcome you back to the top of the second. Pitching came out strong on both sides of the mound. And a correction, Peter Nickerson on the start for Colorado. Punched out 2 in the first inning as he will face number 0, Owen Miller, excuse me. I believe he is playing catcher today. Nickerson, one of head coach Reynolds' predetermined aces after fall ball. Pitched a very strong season, a big strikeout number. This one high tapper over to first. Zebrack will handle it himself. Nickerson continues to roll early on in this one.
First baseman, number 22, Samuel Snyder.
First baseman for the Utes digs in, Samuel Snyder. Number 22, 5-hole hitter here. This is really where in this spot in the order where these Utes can try and chip away. It's oh so important. Try and chase that starter as quick as possible. Snyder starting at first base today. Nickerson gives him strike 1. Big swing and a miss. Believe the statistic was 31 punch-outs in just over 13 innings for Nickerson last fall. Very tremendous numbers. Extremely efficient when he gets out there. Another swing and a miss there, fooling these Utah hitters early. But like I mentioned early, it's probably a priority for these two teams to get offense going quickly for the temperature that's going to drop as this game goes on. Just going to make it harder to hit that sweet spot of the ball on that bat. Hands are going to be cold. It's going to be more difficult to make hard contact. So perhaps the team that scores the most after the first maybe 3 or 4 innings could probably walk away with this one and then hand it over to their bullpen. The 0-2. Nickerson looking for his third. Taps over to first. Zebrack will get action once again. 2 putouts back-to-back this inning by himself. It's 2 outs now in the second.
Third baseman, number 10, Elijah Gremmons.
Elijah Gremmons due up for the Utes. Colorado looking to not replicate what happened to the football team this season in their matchup between Utah. This one possibly in the gap. Zebrack diving stop. Flip over to first. It's low, not picked. Very difficult play on both sides. Very impressive stop there from Zebrack. Possibly saved an extra base hit there. Very tough play. Couldn't quite put the throw to first on the money. Difficult play. We'll give him a hit. No error for that. As the Utes will get their first runner to 2-out base runner. As that will bring up Grady Hopkin.
Second baseman, number 4, Grady Hopkin.
Playing second base today for Utah. We'll see if they can get any action here on the base paths. Hugging the plate. Hopkin fans for strike 1. Very sound defense, something that head coach Reynolds wanted to prioritize in their couple weeks of practice in between the Dallas tournament and the first pitch of this series. Said it came out a little sloppy in that tournament, especially in that loss to Oklahoma, their only loss on the tournament. Said they gave the Sooners some free runs, let up a little bit on the base paths. Defense coming out sharp so far. Here's a 1-1. Gives him the pitch. Outside corner for strike number 2. Sure, the Buffs looking for 4 or 5 innings from Nickerson. Swung on, strike 3. That will end the inning. Nickerson's third punch out through 2 frames. He is rolling early. Utes don't score. Buffs looking to get on the board.
Go Buff Sports.
Let's go.
Thank you for that, Harrison. The women's basketball team is in the middle of an exciting Big 12 tournament run, and our Scope Buffs crew made the trek to Kansas City this week. Here's our own Jake Chow with the latest.
Here from Kansas City, Missouri, it should really be called Upset City. You can see the bracket. So many higher seeds have fallen in the past 2 days. TCU and Colorado, the lone teams with byes to get wins in the past 2 days. Arizona State really getting a good upset against Iowa State yesterday. And Kansas State, one of the hottest teams in the tournament right now, broke a long-standing 3-point record and is the first 12 seed to make the Big 12 tournament semifinals. An absolutely electric environment. We're going to take you out to the court here as we talk a little bit more about the Big 12 picture. Now, Colorado has a tough matchup against Baylor later today, and Arizona State and Iowa State are facing off here in just about an hour. And Colorado and Baylor have faced earlier this season in a really close game, and all of the coaches have said how much they love the parity of the Big 12, noting that it's one of the best conferences in the nation. And that's been a big part of the Big 12's reason to get some of the glass court behind me here. Now, the glass court, some of the players have noted that they've been slipping a little bit. They miss playing on the hardwood.
As I mentioned earlier, Colin Reynolds was experimenting with different positions. One position he did not have to experiment with is shortstop, as Finn Simones will come up to the plate, the junior, I believe, digging in for his first at-bat at Scott Carpenter on the season. Now joining me in the booth, Noah Bushke.
How's it going? How's it going, Balin? How are you doing?
Good, good. Fun time to be out here. Not quite spring baseball weather quite yet.
Not quite yet, but I think it's still a beautiful night. It's mid-40s right now, but it is a beautiful night here in Boulder, Colorado at Scott Carpenter Park.
Simones will leave it. Boulder had a little snowstorm 2 nights ago. Cleared up yesterday, but brought some of the cold front still. There's the 0-1 on Simones in the zone. Strike 3. Freezes him. Sorry, excuse me, not strike 3.
Questionable
pitch
right
it looks
there.
like a strike 3 call from the umpire there, but pitch over to first, fouled off. Right fielder Caden Meyer on deck. The Buffs went down in order in the first. Whoa. Inside, nearly hit him. Simones will duck out of the way. Simones from Bend, Oregon. He will take ball 4 right there. That is the best thing you can see if you're the Colorado Buffaloes, is an early inning base runner. Can cause chaos in the dirt. Probably see if Simones will be in action there. Try and steal over to seconds. Up to the plate, number 12, Caden Meyer, right field. Had a strong fall. Simones takes his lead at first, and they'll be caught in a rundown, but he is safely in there.
Great plate awareness right there. Knew that the ball was going to first base, and then went his way to second base. Safe call.
Definitely heads up base running. Catcher just slung it over to first. Simones wasn't even making an attempt to steal, but scurries over there to second after the first baseman couldn't glove it cleanly. A little mound visit here for Utah. So Simone's within the blink of an eye in scoring position here in the bottom of the second. Still no hits for Colorado, but one that gets to the fence could come around and score.
Great start to the inning here for the Buffaloes for sure.
Caden Meyer from Loveland, Colorado. Has a plus 1,000 OPS already. Very successful start to his season. 2 RBI. Looking to make it 3 here with Simone's in scoring. Pitch inside once again. His Butts having a little bit of control issues here in the second. Wasn't necessarily painting the zone in the first. Bucks were just putting bat on ball. We're all outs. Outside once again. Butts has made 2 appearances so far. Looking to get that ERA down. Obviously still very early in the year. The pitch will get that outside corner for strike number 1. Third baseman Richie Biberoche on deck, who we thought was pitching to start the game, actually Nickerson. See if Biberoche can get something going at the plate. That one in the dirt. Simone's will hold it second, and Caden Meyer will take his base. Back-to-back walks to get it started.
Third baseman, number 3, Richie Biberoche.
Number 3, Richie. Crowd favorite here, sophomore. That is a day-to-day man in this lineup. Has seen some time on the mound as well. As we'll see if the at-bat strategy for these Buffs kind of tweaks here in the second inning. Now seeing a little bit of control loss from Butts out there. Say, keep the twig on your shoulder. If he's not throwing you strikes, don't swing. Try to get as many base runners as possible for this bottom third of the order. 2-0 count. Butts does not have a grasp of it right now. First and second. Little ball replenish for the umpires. They will come out and talk to him. A good mound visit use here for Utah. Cannot have your loss of control early on in an inning. You can maybe have your pitcher ride it out if you have 1 or 2 outs, but with nobody on and 2 on, with how quickly this Buffs lineup can turn it around and put bat on ball, probably a smart call here from the Utes. Utah in the Northern Pacific Division of the NCBA. Play with the likes of Utah State, Boise State at the top of that division. First and second. Buffs threatening here with no outs. They will check the runner at second safely in there. It's another good sign. Maybe when the pitcher starts losing a little bit of confidence, he will avoid throwing it, try to get outs elsewhere than just on at-bats. Here's Biberoche. Hasn't seen a strike. 3-0 pitch. In the dirt. 3-1, excuse me. 3-0. 3 balls, no strikes. Still hasn't seen a strike. He will see one right there. About to toss his bat. About to toss his bat and take his base. Stay in the box.
Butts is struggling to find the plate right now, but with that pitch, we'll see if he can get it back, and that one's just outside. It's another walk.
Biberoche checks the umpire, making sure it wasn't calling that one a strike. That will load up the bases. Big spot for designated hitter Elon Schwartz. Nowhere to put him. No outs. Utah will move their infield in. First and third baseman at the tip of that grass, looking to turn double play with a ground ball. Really anything but a ground ball would suffice here. Even that would, because I'd probably score the run in from third. But looking for some height, maybe send it out to the outfield, get a run in. Swung on. A lot of speed off that foul ball.
That ball looks to be in the streets somewhere.
Elon Schwartz, 400 average so far. Very strong start in Dallas. See if he can replicate it here. His first at-bat at Scott Carpenter. Pitch. Outside again. He will come home. Simone's diving for the plate. He's safe. Utah gifts Colorado a run. On walks and errors, Colorado finds their first run of the year.
He had a great leadoff off third base. Great way to score. And on the wild pitch, you cannot have that if you're Utah, especially with the bases loaded.
So it separates good teams from great teams. That will take away the force. Also, very big play there. Now 2 in scoring position, still nobody out. Could get out of hand quickly for Utah. As the Buffs jump up 1-0. Pitch outside. Two balls, 2 strikes. On Schwartz, the pitch. Swing and a miss. Drop third strike over to first in time. Big strikeout there from Butts and Utah.
Big is an understatement because this pitcher has been struggling this inning especially, and to get that strikeout, probably will have to put some confidence in himself right now.
Yeah, very big to get that strikeout over a pop-up or ground out. Just extra confidence here. It can be lonely sometimes out there on the mound. So as much confidence as you can get is good. So I'll bring up second baseman Judge Stafford. Number 11, still big RBI opportunity for him. First pitch is by his head. Bryce Smith on deck, the 9-hole hitter before this lineup turns over. The 1-0. Touch the zone.
Ooh, questionable one right there.
Meyer on third. Biberoche on second. They have speed if a ball is put in play. The 1-1. Swing and a miss. Chased one downstairs. Still no hits yet for Colorado. Two strikes. Stafford holds there, a very good take. Thought about it for a second. That'll even up the count. Judson Stafford, a junior out of Dallas, Texas. Looking to drive in some runs. Did he go? That was not. It's a foul ball. I'm assuming that will bring up a full count here for Stafford.
This is a big pitch coming up right here. The Buffs can either get away early or the Utah Utes can stop them for only 1 run.
Full count, 1 out. Ground double play by Force out of the picture here. That is outside. That will load him up once again. Fourth walk of the inning, excuse me. Second time the bases are loaded.
And they've done this without any hits yet.
Yeah, it's very true.
Just great eyes on the plate, absolutely, for sure.
Smith, the catcher, still looking for his first hit on the year. Did not piece one together in Dallas. Be a good spot for his first. Bases loaded once again, and another ball. Wonder if their strategy right now is not to pitch until they see a strike. Right now with the loss of control. Not a bad call to have. There's 2-0. Could it happen again?
And another wild
Myers in there safely. 2 runs this inning off wild pitches. Colorado jumps up 2-0. Still no hits for them.
Like you said, Balin, I think it's probably a good strategy to just not swing at any pitches right now at the moment. Butts of the Utah Utes has been struggling with his arm right now.
2 unearned runs on the board. See if they can get one earned with Smith, up at the plate. And that low pitch hits the zone. Butts outside. Wonder how much of a leash they have on Butts right now out the mound. If they will roll with him through this inning, try to see as long as you can go, or if they have faith in that bullpen. It's going to be a long 9 innings. 5th walk of the frame as the lineup will turn over. 3rd time the bases have been loaded. The first 2, the runner from 3rd has came home off a wild pitch. As Zebrak comes up to the plate for a second at bat. Biberosh on 3rd, Stafford on 2nd, Smith on 1st. As the Utah manager will come out here and talk it over. See if they keep him out here, maybe try to give him a break. Some point to the dugout. Don't believe anybody's coming out.
And with one of the best hitters on the roster, Zebrak could turn this game upside down really quick.
Dream for the leadoff hitter to come up to the plate with bases loaded.
Especially for the leadoff hitter being a freshman. How big would this be?
Butts will have his night end early. Only pitches 1 1/3 innings. Will record 4 outs and leave him stranded for Utah's reliever. A definitely tough position to come into with bases loaded, but something that you have to expect coming out of the bullpen. Just go out there when your name is called.
Definitely not the night that Butts wanted, for sure. Only pitching 1 1/3. Definitely wish that he could finish the game out with no runs, of course.
It's number 9 for Utah. We will get the name soon. Number 8. That is Noah Shamlu. Coming out of the bullpen. Going to have to do it early. Including this one, 8 more innings now in this bullpen as somebody trots down there and try and get warm.
May I have your attention, please? Pitching now for the Utah Utes, number 8, Noah Shamlu.
Shamlu from California. Throws right-hander, stands at 6 feet tall, a junior. In this bullpen, he's made 2 appearances on the mound so far, just under a 5 ERA. As obviously all of these batters right now will not account to him if they come around, but definitely probably going to aim towards the lower half of the strike zone here, get a ball that's in the infield, try and turn a double play there for the Force. Buffs do have speed on the bases. We'll see if Utah can turn this. A big spot for Zebrak. 0 for 1 on the day, grounded out to second base. His first time up. Buffs already up 2-0. See if they can tack on some more. First pitch from Shamlu. In the zone.
Right on the line on that pitch right there.
Zebrak had to see one. Shamlu has pitched 3 2/3 innings, giving up only 2 earned runs, but 7 total. Undisciplined defense to show for that. Zebrak fouls that one off. Solid strikeout numbers, however, for him. 5 in his just under 4 innings. Getting just over 1 per frame. Could be a good time for one right here. The lefty swings on over to second base. Double play possibility. Doesn't handle it cleanly. They get the out at second, but a run does come in. An RBI for Gabe Zebrak as Biberosh comes home to score. Second out of the frame, but Buffs go up 3-0.
Way to stay composed, the second baseman of the Utah Utes. having that ball bobble in his hands, but he does record that out at second.
Zebrak runs. Wild pitch. Not grabbed cleanly by the catcher there. That is a good, very smart steal there with 2 outs. Takes away the force at second base. Have to either throw it to first or get the put out themselves. Here's Melberg as well, 0 for 1. Zebrak, who's just hitting the only lefty in this Buffs lineup today.
Could you get the picture a little bit further to the right? Just keep the third in shot.
Melberg, 1 RBI so far on the year. A pair of base hits. Pitch touches the zone. Went to Lake Washington High School. One of the freshmen on this team. 2 freshmen to lead off the lineup for the Buffs today in Zebrak and Melberg. Second and third, 2 outs. 3 runs already. Can they make it more? You look at the ball there, coming home. Stand up, and he's going for the second run in here, and it's a wild pitch. 2 more runs come across.
2 more runs on another wild pitch. How many wild pitches is that?
Zebrak reached off the fielder's choice there at second, steals second base, then off a wild pitch, comes from second to home. That is now 4 unearned runs on the inning for Utah. 5 on the board in total for the Buffs. Jump out on top early. 5 runs without a base hit. Melberg swung on, fouled. Bases clear. Utah could take a little bit of a deep breath with nobody to worry about as the ball gets lost there by the pitcher. Eighth batter of the inning for CU. Hoffman looms on deck. Full count. 2 outs. 5 walks this inning. Make it 6. Melberg gets on base.
Center fielder, number 7.
Just a nightmare of an inning for the Utah Utes. 0 hits allowed, however, 5 runs, and all of them have been off walks.
Shamloo definitely has more control than Butch showed earlier this inning, but Buffs still exploiting. Melberg aggressive lead over at first as Hoffman will look at strike 1. If Hoffman were to reach, Simones would come up for a second at-bat of the frame. 0-1 to Hoffman in the zone there. Let's look at 2 strikes.
What Shamloo needs to do at this moment right now is to either strike out or get an out on this batter so that the Utah Utes can regroup and hopefully show some sign of life in this one on offense.
That ball is low. Melberg will scurry over to second. Some of the Buffs did very well in Dallas with steal bases. There's a threat of everybody in this lineup that can run, something they pride themselves on. Melberg in scoring position. 2 strikes on Hoffman. Can Utah get out of the inning? Swing and a miss. They will. Hoffman has a second strikeout of the night. Utah gets out of the nightmare inning. To the Buffs plate 5 runs, 4 of them unearned. Utah looking to get some back. We come back. The top of the 3rd. Stay with us.
Game in 3 weeks. Freshman duo of Braden Burries and Koa Pete have dominated all season and will look to spoil Colorado's senior night. The Buffs have their work cut out for them in their last game before the Big 12 tournament.
Speaking of the Big 12 tournament, our very own Oliver Hayes is ready to break down the Black and Gold's chances come next week.
Hey, my name is Oliver Hayes, and welcome back to this week's edition of Buff Banner. And happy Jason Tatum Day to all those celebrating. But looking at the Colorado men's basketball team's chances in the Big 12 tournament, a path to the Big 12 where they could punch their ticket to March Madness. It seems to be the only way that they could do so given the season that they've had. Let's take a look at what they could do in Kansas City next week. So far with the current standing, the Buffs are set to be the 11th seed in the Big 12 tournament. And right now they're set to play number 14 seed Baylor. Out of all the teams that the Buffs could have played between I believe it was Oklahoma State and Kansas State, Baylor was a tough pull of those three, given that the Bears beat up the Buffs in Waco earlier this season by quite a number of points. I believe it was 19 in that one due to the scoring.
I didn't even know that Britain had baseball.
Welcome back. Utah needs some work at the plate. They left the second with an even score. They come up to the plate at the third, now down 5, as 8-9-1 batters in the lineup due up here in the third. We'll start with Zachary Clay, number 20. Clay, a junior on this team, playing around the infield. That one above his head. Nickerson has had a good start so far, staying efficient. He's getting out on the mound and coming right back into the dugout. 3 strikeouts. He's only allowed 1 hit on an awkward play over at first. Very good stop from Zebrak, but a tough throw over to complete the play. Base runner didn't go anywhere, though. 2 balls, 1 strike on Clay. Pitch upstairs. Nickerson a little wild here to start the frame. Looking to shut him down. 5-0 lead. Off no hits, 4 runs come unearned. Down outside. Wow. Give him the call.
Nope, not outside apparently.
We'll load up the count. Clay will look at ball 4. That pitch a little upstairs. Leadoff walk for Utah. It's a good way to start the rally. So bringing up Cody DeBeer, sophomore on this team. Flexes from outfield and first base. Bats lefty. This one shot back up the middle. Double play ball. Simones will take it himself over to first. Not in time. Little awkward transition there, getting the runner at second. They do get the out, though. Most important. That would be 1 on, 1 away for the top of the order. Nico Wharton.
DeBeer swung on the first pitch. It looked to me as if it was a breaking ball, and he didn't get a lot on it, and luckily there wasn't a double play for the Utes.
Wharton struck out his first time up. First of the victims for Nickerson. That one in the zone. A lot of movement on that. Crawled down the ladder. Nickerson looking for that ground ball to get out of the inning. Pitch some speed, fouled off. Attacking the strike zone here early on. This was his first walk of the night, given up earlier this inning to Clay. He was retired there at second base, fielder's choice from Simones. Very strong defense from him at shortstop. Will likely be the starting shortstop all 4 years if he elects to play. Or an upstairs wild pitch will give DeBeer second base.
Runner in scoring position for the Utah Utes. Let's see if the Colorado Buffaloes can gather a stop to keep the Utes scoreless on the board.
Wharton, one of 2 freshmen in this Utah lineup. See if he can produce. Calls time. For those following the World Baseball Classic, Team USA currently losing to Great Britain in the 3rd inning. Uncharacteristic Turk Scooble start. The 1-1. He hacked at it. Strike 3.
What a beautiful
emphatic
pitch.
call from the umpire there. Sort of hacked at it, did not commit on the swing. That will be Wharton's 2nd punch out on the game, and Nickerson's 4th. So now 2 outs. Here's Joshua Willis.
Beautiful pitch from Nickerson on that one. Caught the batter being a little lackadaisical. Not sure what he wanted to do. Great pitch right there.
Did not make up his mind as Willis thought about that one, but will leave it upstairs. Nice mix of classes. This Utah lineup pretty evenly distributed as the senior Willis will look at ball 2. Two outs on the inning. Looking to bring up the offense. Just came around for 5. Now an inside. Nearly touched him. Nickerson only gave up 1 hit in his start in Dallas. There's another strike call.
Looked to be a corner on that one.
Batters have been disagreeing with the umpire thus far. Nickerson comes home in the zone for strike 2. Prides himself on the strikeout out on the mound. Payoff pitch. Big one here to get that offense back up to the plate. The 3-2. Swing and a miss, but it gets by the catcher. He will get over to first safely. Had the strikeout, but will now put runners on first and third for Utah. A little bit of a threat here.
A little bit of trouble. Let's see if the 5th year from Louisville can pull this inning off. Let's see. A time is called. And see if the Colorado Buffaloes can keep the Utes scoreless here.
DeBeer 90 feet away from Utah's first run of the night. They're cornered up. There's James Roberts. Grounded out his first time up. Runner goes. Catcher tries to frame the pitch instead of checking the runner, as Willis will scurry over to second base. Now 2nd and 3rd.
I'm not sure if Smith didn't see the runner going to second base there. See if he could get that out.
Velocity there outside. 2 in scoring position. Cleanup hitter. Owen Miller on deck. Not a spot you want to face a cleanup hitter on if bases are loaded. 2 outs on the inning. That one called strike. Two balls, 1 strike. Buffs defense playing back. He went. Got a piece of it for a foul ball. 2 strikes.
Great swing there to stay alive on the pitch.
Roberts up to the plate here. 391 average so far. He's been producing well. See if he can come through here. The 2-2. Swung on over to first. Foul ball.
Stays alive again. A chopper to the right side.
Nickerson looking to execute on one final pitch. Get out of the frame. Roberts has been on top of it, though. Two balls, 2 strikes. The pitch. Swing and a miss. Gets by him. Needs a good throw over to first and will do so. Nickerson avoids the threat with 2 in scoring position there. Buffs get out of the third, maintaining their 5-0 lead. We go to the bottom of the third.
The women's lacrosse team recently squared off against Army in West Point, with Army scoring first in the competition. The Buffs were left trailing for most of the first quarter until a late goal by Avery Gardner tied it up. The Buffs ran up the score, ending the half 9-1. However, a surge by Army in the second half made it 11-6. After a huge momentum shift and 2 more goals, the Buffs came away with the victory, winning 13-6.
2 players from Colorado's women's lacrosse team earned a Big 12 honors this week. Senior defender Jess Peluso earned a Big 12 Defender of the Week, marking Peluso's 3rd time winning the award in just 4 weeks. Sophomore goalkeeper Elena O earned a Big 12 Goalkeeper of the Week, marking O's 4th consecutive week earning the award.
Colorado hopes to carry its momentum coming off a big win against Army to Ann Arbor as they face Michigan. The Buffs are 3-5 all-time against Michigan and look to flip the script from the last time they met in 2025, suffering a 12-7 loss. First draws.
Bottom of inning number 3. Shortstop Finn Simone's due up. Buffs coming off a hitless, successful inning. I saw 6 walks and 5 runs come around. Simone swings on the first pitch, fouls it off.
To add to that, the Buffs are still looking there for their first hit, so let's see if they can get in this inning.
Obviously, Colorado able to chase Utah's starter last frame. We'll see what the reliever can do. On inside, nearly touches the kneecaps.
Nearly hit him on that one.
Shamlu coming in for his 2nd inning. We mentioned keeping under that 5 ERA, looking to get that whip down to that one in the dirt. It's one thing the Buffs are very good at doing. So if the opposing team is going to make mistakes, they will come around and make them pay. Really exciting play on the wild pitch where 2 runners came around to score from 3rd and 2nd base to go up 5-0. Simone's will look at strike.
Let's see if the junior from Bend, Oregon can get the Buffs their first hit of the game right here.
Women's basketball loses to West Virginia by 1 point. They will be eliminated from the Big 12 tournament. Exciting second half.
Still a great year from the women's team, of course.
Here's Simone's. Swing and a miss there. Strike 3. Buffs swinging the bat. 4th strikeout on the game for them. They'll bring up Caden Meyer. 4-5-6 due up this frame.
From looking at the scope of the entire game, it appears that Shamlu's had a much more control than Butts has had. Excuse me, throughout the entire game.
Meyer looks at ball 1. It was this part of the order that started the rally last inning. I saw every batter come up to the plate. Pitch low. Lights are out. Scott Carpenter.
Last inning, we saw 3 straight walks from the last batter, and now Mayer, and then Biberoche as well. So let's see if Mayer can get on base again.
2 balls, 1 strike on Meyer. See if they'll have a more aggressive at-bat approach here. Big swing and a miss there. That was an aggressive swing.
That was
Meyer.
indeed.
Just came up empty.
He was trying to send that one as far as he could, but unable to reach it.
Meyer will look at ball 3 as I will load him up. Buff's doing a good job of working the count, laying off the right pitches. If Utah's not throwing him strikes, Buffs aren't swinging.
It's a good strategy so far.
Payoff pitch from Shamloo. The 3-2. Swing and a miss. Meyer hacks but comes up empty. Back-to-back strikeouts to start the frame. Much more ground to start from this Utah pitching staff. A good thing to see.
An excellent pitch there from Shamloo, and he's had a pretty solid year so far. Around a 5 ERA, and looking to get that even more down with his this game right here. So, and that last pitch looked like had a little curvature on it. It looked like a great pitch, and he was able to get the strikeout because of it.
Biberoche, one of the 5 runs, came around last inning. He will look at strike 1. Shamloo doing a much better job of attacking the zone this frame. Seen a lot more control. Promising if you're in the Utah dugout. The 0-1 to Richie. Swing and a miss there. Complete 180 opposite inning from last one. Much more control, a lot more strikes. See if he can get out of it here. Strike out the side. The 0-2 fouled off. Biberoche will stay alive.
This is a promising inning for Shamloo of the Utah Utes. Although he's looked promising, in order for the Utes to get back into this game, they have to be better on offense. Only 1 hit.
Biberoche lines this one into left field. That will get down. Biberoche in for extra bases. He will hold up at second. First base hit of the day comes to the bat of Richie Biberoche. 2 out double. That will bring up Elon Schwartz. Very good piece of hitting. Stayed through the zone the whole time. Nice full swing. Lined it out. Got a lot of good airtime there as well.
Like you said, beautiful swing there by Biberoche, and he was able to split the gap between left and center and got enough distance on it so that the left fielder couldn't get it. Excellent hit right there.
Definitely a shot for Utah's left fielder to make that play. Had a lot of speed, was tracking it well.
Yeah, he was tracking it well.
Just lofted right over his head. Harrison Simeon was just in the booth, not doing a good job on the camera right now. Really needing to step it up.
Come on, step it up.
A little rusty. Still distraught after the women's loss, but
I mean, I think we all are a little distraught.
Schwartz struck out his first time up last inning. See if he can hit around Biberoche, who's threatening. Big jump there at second. That low pitch called a strike. Schwartz disagrees.
Looked a little low. Just a little low.
Little inconsistent calls here from the umpire behind the plate. It's the pitch. Swung on. Got a piece.
If the netting wasn't there, that would probably hit Harrison, I'm assuming.
Camera would have been gone.
Camera would have been gone.
2 strikes on Schwartz. Shamloo looking to get out of the inning. Much more efficient than the last. The 1-2. Outside. Good stop there from the catcher. Saved a base.
Shamloo looked to have a great start to the inning. Now appears to be a little a little distraught here on the mound. A couple of outside pitches in a row.
2 strikes, plunks
Now
him.
one hit it him.
Shorts will take his base right in the back there. He'll wear it. Oh, put runners on first and second
Second baseman.
for the Buffs.
Number 11, Judson
Back-to-back
Stafford.
2-out reaches. The double, then hit by a pitch. Another opportunity here for Colorado. Here's a second baseman, Judd Stafford. See if we'll see any movement on the base paths here. Will be aggressive with 2 outs, but could take away the force. Stafford walked his first time up. Big swing and a miss there. Foul ball, excuse me, got a piece. Stafford coming into the day batting .250, the 400 on base. It's really good numbers here at the bottom of the lineup. Buffs can truly get to you from any player, 1 through 9. Swung on, fouled off. Stafford being disciplined at the plate. Doesn't have a strikeout yet this season. Look over, Biberosh on second. The pitch outside.
Good eye by Stafford on that one. Looked to be very close, but ended up being a ball on the outside.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Buffs keep extending the inning. Can they do it another batter? Stafford lines it over to third. That is a foul ball.
Very close on the line on that one.
About half a foot shy of going over the base. Very close call. It could have scored a run. Potentially 2 if Schwartz got on his horse.
The junior from Dallas, Texas has been fighting. Let's see if he can get a hit on this one and extend the Buffaloes' lead with the runner in scoring position.
2-strike pitch.
Looks like it hit
Moved
him.
his knee in there. That plunked him. Bases are loaded. Nowhere to put Bryce Smith.
Catcher, number 20.
This is, I believe, the
Bryce
4th
Smith.
time the Buffaloes have loaded up the bases in this game. Still in the 3rd inning.
2 outs, bases loaded. Smith trying to get his first hit of the year. And this would be a great time to do it, as he can extend the Buffaloes' lead right here.
This is a really strong showing from Colorado's offense, getting 2 outs early via the strikeout. They don't let it affect them. Now come on with 3 straight batters. This one lined over to the second baseman. Throw over to first in
Looks like he got
time.
him. Wow.
Thought the runner there coming over would have affected him. Didn't ground it cleanly, but made the throw over. As the Buffs will come up the inning scoreless. Colorado keeps their 5-0 lead. Going to inning number 4.
One of the best defensive players in the conference with JoJo Tugler. I have to give Arizona the edge and move them on to the championship, which now we'll look at. And somehow, some way, if the Buffs make it to the championship, I mean, I just have to say Godspeed for the Buffs, the black and gold. If they have to make it to the championship, whoever they take on, playing their 5th game in 5 days, I mean, they could be playing number 16 Utah. That would be a tough game, playing your 5th game in 5 days, but assuming that they would have to play the best team in the conference, the regular season Big 12 champions, the Arizona Wildcats, for the reasons I just named for why they would beat the Houston Cougars, one of the best teams in the country. That's why they would most likely handle the Buffs. But, I mean, we're going to see how Colorado can do against the Arizona Wildcats this Saturday at the CU Event Center at 9 p.m. I will be there doing my usual coverage, so check out my social media. But I believe that is all for this week's edition of Buff Banner, and I'll pass it back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks for that, Oliver. Now looking at this week's trivia question. The Buffaloes are playing number 2 ranked Arizona on Senior Day tomorrow. The last time that happened, Colorado and current assistant Evan Batty upset the Wildcats in a memorable February 2022 night. So, how many points did the mayor of Boulder score on his historic senior night? Stick around after the break to find out later in the show.
Welcome you into the 4th inning of some Colorado Buffaloes baseball here at Scott Carpenter Park. I'm Balin Weissel. Alongside me, Noah
Bushke. Yes, sir.
Good one so far from Colorado. Nickerson back out there for his 4th inning of work. Been mowing through them. Only giving up 1 hit. Has taken 4 strikeouts.
A very good day from Nickerson, for sure. Only 1 hit, like you said, and able to shut him out so far.
Faced a little bit of a threat last inning, getting runners on 1st and 3rd. Was able to get out of it.
Absolutely.
The strikeout to Robert James there for the 3rd out of the inning. As here's Owen Miller batting cleanup here. Cleanup for a good reason, batting .471 so far this spring. Very hot start. 144 OPS. Extremely high.
Extremely high indeed. And he hasn't had a hit yet, as he only has had 1 bat. And it was an out, but could be looking at a hit right here. We shall see.
Pitch outside. Nickerson's velocity is eye-popping difference from the Utah pitchers. Can very much tell how much harder it is for these Utah batters to try and get a rally going as Miller touches it there for a foul. Last World Baseball Classic update. Team USA still losing.
Still losing.
Now
to
2
Great
outs in the
Britain.
bottom of the 4th. About to go in the 5th inning. Down 1-0 to Great Britain. That would be one of the upsets of all time
I think so.
if it were to happen.
Great Britain's not known for their baseball, but having a very strong start against the U.S. early.
Payoff pitch from Nickerson nearly hits his head for a lead-off walk. Second time that's happened for Nickerson out there on the mound. Also happened in the 3rd, but as we mentioned, was able to get out of it with no damage done. So bring up first baseman Samuel Snyder. 0 for 1, grounded out to first base. His first time up.
Wasn't the worst walk ever, but got him on base with nobody out so far, and 2 strong batters coming up here as Snyder bats .353, a very, very good average. We'll see if he can get a hit here.
Yep, Snyder putting bat on ball early this season. As he looked at strike 1, nearly hit him there for ball 1.
Wait, was that some yodeling in there? Hold on. That's some yodeling.
Batter calls time, or I believe the catcher, Bryce Smith there. Charlie Lesh, I believe the day in, day out catcher for Colorado, but Bryce Smith getting the start, the 2 position today. Doing a good job so far. Not a lot of balls getting past him. Miller takes his lead at first. Looks like no threat to steal. It's a 1-1. Swung on, foul ball. Batter still catching up to the timing here in the 4th inning. We've seen a lot of foul balls, not a lot of balls hit in play. I believe only 1 or 2 combined hits on the game, both sides of the ball.
Where's your eyes? Where's the candy?
The pitch, Miller runs.
Running and no throw.
Smith will not test him over at second base. A stolen base for Owen Miller. Must have heard me talking earlier. Thought his lead was not long enough to go, but there he went. Stolen base puts a runner in scoring position for Utah.
Not the best jump, but
Strikeout.
speed was able to make up for it. And another time, it appears, for the Utes.
Snyder with an RBI opportunity. Still an attainable game to win for Utah. You know how quickly these things can turn around. Miller runs for third. Bryce checks him over there. Oh, would have had him in time. As Snyder strikes out, the check over to third was on time but dropped by Colorado third baseman Richie Biberoche. Close play there. Good effort by Smith. As Buffs do get the first out of the inning, but now have a runner 90 feet away.
Huge spot for Nickerson in this situation, going up against Grammons, who is one of the best hitters on the team. And an average of almost 500. Great average. We'll see if he can continue that or if Nickerson can strike him out.
Pitch in the zone. Biberoche playing closely to the bag. Graham is looking for a line drive right up the middle. RBI single. Nickerson leaves him there.
Way outside on that one.
The 1-1. Touches his zone. Good pitch there. Put 2 strikes on him.
Very good pitch, and he's had pitches like those all day today. And it looks like he's not stopping.
That last one was the 7th strikeout from Nickerson. Can he get his 8th? Fouled off. Nickerson closing in on 50 pitches in this game. We will see how far he goes. So far, see it look like he can go a while. Strikeout number 8. Fooled him there. Did not
Great
commit
pitch
to the swing. 2 down here in the 4th.
Let's see if the first-year freshman out of Rochester, New York can get the Utes on the board, or will Nicholson out of Buffaloes? Oh, it looks like
down. Miller coming home. The throw over in time.
Out.
Ball got out. Miller will come around to score. They once again looks like they had him in time. But the ball gets away from Smith there at the catcher. Utah gets on the board here in the 4th. It's 5-1.
Wow, it looks like all of the runs, if I'm not mistaken, have been scored on wild pitches. Is that right?
Yeah.
I feel like
that is true. Every run this game so far.
That is a crazy stat. As 6 runs are on the board, but 5 of them belong to the Buffaloes.
All 6 combined runs in the game unearned. As man, Colorado had good chances to get Miller twice that inning. Looks like they had him over the throw at third was on time.
Yeah,
even that one there at the plate.
Drop balls.
Appeared to be a good chance as Hopkins swings and misses there. The pitch leaves him. Two balls, 1 strike. Pitch swung on. That will get down.
Base hit.
Good piece of hitting by Grady Hopkins. Just lifts it into right field there. 2 out base hit. Utah will look to build a rally here. Chipped away at the lead. Now 4 runs
That's a great start. If I were Hopkin here, I would probably want to steal, maybe get in scoring position.
So bring up Zachary Clay. Walked his first time up. Pitch outside. Good PSA to all of our viewers. Daylight savings tomorrow. I believe you spring forward, get a little extra hour of sleep. No, spring back. Bad news. My bad. Lose an hour. Thankfully, it's on a Sunday. Thankfully.
Make sure y'all go to bed early.
Some of those spring backs on a school night are rough. Spring forward, but losing an hour. Sure. Sure. 5-1 Buffs here. Runner on first, 2 outs. Especially here in sunny Colorado, gaining an hour of sunshine. Big swing and a miss there. Hopefully we get some sunshine tomorrow for the doubleheader. First pitch starting at 11. 2 7-inning games here, streamed live on ScoBuff Sports. The pitch from Nickerson. Runner goes. Smith can't get it out, but it doesn't matter because it's strike 3, 9 on the game for Peter Nickerson through 4 innings. He is shutting it down. Utah gets on the board. Colorado still in the driver's seat. It's 5-1.
After a huge momentum shift and 2 more goals, the Buffs came away with the victory, winning 13-6.
2 players from Colorado's women's lacrosse team earned a Big 12 honors this week. Senior defender Jess Peluso earned a Big 12 Defender of the Week, marking Peluso's 3rd time winning the award in just 4 weeks. Sophomore goalkeeper Elena O earned a Big 12 Goalkeeper of the Week, marking O's 4th consecutive week earning the award.
Colorado hopes to carry its momentum coming off a big win against Army to Ann Arbor as they face Michigan. The Buffs are 3-5 all-time against Michigan and look to flip the script from the last time they met in 2025, suffering a 12-7 loss. First draw is set for 11 a.m. on Sunday and will be streamed on Big Ten Plus.
Last week, our Buffalo's ski team dominated in the RMISA Championships in Bozeman, Montana and Midway, Utah. For Nordic skiing, Tilda Bangaman secured another victory in the 20K freestyle. The men were not as lucky, with the highest finishing Buff, Johannes Flatten, finishing 5th. On the alpine side, Luisa Acambre won the women's giant slalom, posting the fastest run times for both runs. In the men's giant slalom, the Buffs swept the podium, with Feb Alasina, Philip Volquist, and Justin Bigetel finishing 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. The Buffs are looking forward to competing in the upcoming NCAA championships this week.
Colorado Track and Field has qualified 3 individuals and 1 relay team for the NCAA Indoor Championships. Avery Pearson will lead the Buffs competing in the women's 800 meters. Pearson punched her ticket at the Colorado Last Chance meet with a time just under 2 minutes on the men's side. Colorado's distance medley relay of Justine Kipkich, Danny Tragars, Drew Costello, and Isaiah Gibbons will make an
And number 18,
Bottom of the 4th. Top of the order do-up for Colorado, their 3rd time around. Gabe Zebrak will dig in here. Utah's Noah Shamlu comes in once again.
After an inning, in the 2nd inning of 6 walks allowed, 0 last inning, but 2 hit by pitches. Let's see if they're going to get on base without any major hits. Only 1 hit throughout this entire game, and
Swung on to shallow right. Make the play for the first out of the inning.
Just got under that one. Looks promising, though.
Number 1, Aiden Melberg.
Quick out. That will bring up left fielder Aiden Melberg. 0 for 1 on the day. Grounded out his first time up, then walked in the 2nd. Buffs looking to get back the run they gave up last inning. Once again, unearned. Had a couple close calls picking off that runner, sealing at 3rd and at home. Couldn't quite execute. Pitch to Melberg. Strike 1. Hoffman on deck, uncharacteristically 0 for 2 with a pair of strikeouts. He's certainly due eventually.
Right.
Pitch inside.
Are you going to come in after?
5-1 Colorado here in the bottom of the 4th. Melberg will look at strike 2. This game looked a little bit of a generous call from up here, but umpire does have the best view.
Looks like it was close to the line there on that one.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Shamlu rolling on the mound. This one to center field by Melberg. Didn't get enough. That ball is caught. Back-to-back flyouts.
What is promising for the Buffs, though, is that they're actually hitting the ball downfield. We only saw that once before this inning, and that was the second base hit. And they're actually getting on the ball this time. With less walks, of course.
2 down here for Nathan Hoffman. Look for his first reach of the night. First pitch swung on, fly out, shallow right, chasing it. Will make the catch. Quick inning for Utah. Fly out to right, fly out to center, and fly out to right for the 3 outs. Quick 4th. Stay with us. You're watching SCO Buff Sports, heading to the 5th inning.
State on Friday at 8 p.m. and Boston College on Sunday at 11 a.m.
The club baseball team begins the full swing of their season this weekend against Utah. It's the home opener at Scott Carpenter Park as the Buffs look to continue their hot start. They went 3-1 in the Dallas tournament in February thanks to strong pitching and hot runs on offense. Game 1 starts Saturday night at 7 p.m. and Sunday holds a doubleheader starting at 11. SCO Buff Sports is your home for club baseball all weekend long, streamed live right here on our YouTube.
Club softball's back in action this weekend as the Buffs host a 3-game series against Air Force Academy at East Mapleton Ball Fields in Boulder. The series begins Saturday at 11 a.m. and wraps up Sunday at 11 a.m. and 1 p.m. Colorado will look to build momentum and defend their home field as they continue their push through the spring season.
Hey Buff fans, I'm Kieran Walker bringing you this week's top 5 plays in Colorado sports. A hoops heavy week, so we're diving right in with number 5. It's women's hoops first. Desiree Wooten. Matter of fact, going out, she's going to step back and launch for 3, and she'll get it from downtown against the BYU Cougars in Provo. Look at that step back, and she launches from downtown in Provo, Utah. That was a disappointing loss at the end, but still, a great play. Now it's taken. Here's Alan McKaylee. Sends it over to Hargress. Back to McKaylee, and he goes in for the slam against the Utah Utes. Ladies and gentlemen, Alan McKaylee with a beautiful, beautiful slam. Now, let's go over to women's lax. And Sophia Yaskulsi with the underhand goal against the Army Black Knights in my hometown of West Point, New York. Ladies and gentlemen, what a play. Very close to home, in fact. Now let's go back to that Utah game where men's hoops. Barrington Hargress to Josiah Sanders to Isaiah Johnson, and he launches for 3 and gets it from downtown. Beautiful setup. There's Sanders over to Johnson in the corner, and he'll launch from outside. Ladies and gentlemen, a dominating win for Colorado over the Utes in Salt Lake City. Now here's Desiree Wooten again against the Cougars. She'll take it herself on the steal, and 1, ladies and gentlemen, going in for the basket.
Welcome back to Scott Carpenter Park. I'm Harrison Simeon, joined by Noah Bushke, replacing Balin Weissup on the mic after 4 solid innings from him and 4 solid innings from Peter Nickerson. And he departs as well for Max McGinnis, yes. A second-year sophomore from Aurora, coming in to face Utah. Colorado up 5-1 here in the top of the 5th.
Fielder number 27, Cody DeBeer.
Cody DeBeer steps up. 0 for 1 on his day, left-handed hitter.
The number 9 hitter, having a good average on the year, hitting 1 out of every 3 balls coming his way, as that one almost hits him.
Yeah, above his shoe tops for the first ball. It's a calm, cold night here in Boulder, about 40 degrees.
Still a pretty nice night, I'd say, though.
Oh, yeah. It was a little chilly, like, went out there for do the camera.
That's true. We're in this nice little contained area right here.
Yeah. McGinnis gets a swing and miss. He's going.
Good pitch there by McGinnis. Had the batter chasing on that one.
1-2 the count.
Oh my God. Oh, wow. Kieran, you might as well turn it off.
There's the pitch. Low, ball 2.
Good eye there. McGinnis trying to fool him again on that ball down low. Didn't get him that time, though. And De Beer stays alive.
2-2 Colorado, looking for some more, I guess, natural sources of offense, but they still have 5 runs leading Utah, who are just looking for any offense right now.
5 runs you'll take no matter how you get it, as a strike 3 called.
McGinnis freezes him and shoots a little celebration to the third baseman. So 1 down. That brings us to the top of the order. Nico Warden in on today, and he has 2 strikeouts.
Nico Warden, before this game, had an average of 500. Let's see if he can get on the board with a hit here. Been struggling early. 2 strikeouts, like you said.
Yeah, leadoff hitter for a reason. And usually you like to put the guy that just gets the rally started, not always the power hitters, the innings starters,
Absolutely.
but so far.
And a freshman, too, if I might add.
Yeah. So both sides going with leadoff hitters that are freshmen.
Just shows how young these lineups are and how much potential the future holds for both of these teams, as we have watched a good one so far with these young batters for sure.
So we have an update from the World Baseball Classic. It looks like runners on the corners for Puerto Rico in the bottom of the ninth, 2-1. Panama leading. 3-0 the count on Wharton as we are in the top of the 5th. First spring game of the season for the club baseball team here in Boulder, and the first game for us as well. Got a nice little scoreboard graphics package update.
Looks like a walk there.
Yeah, not the cleanest at bat there.
Center fielder number 23, Joshua Willis.
From McGinnis, so a walk from Wharton. And we get to Joshua Willis. He's also 0 for 2. Though reached first on a drop third strike his second time up. First pitch fouled off. So Utah now with a runner on first and 1 out, trying to inch back into this game. A reminder, this is a 9-inning game, not a 7-inning game. There will be 2 7-inning games tomorrow at 11 and 1 between Colorado and Utah. You can watch them right here on Scobo Sports. McGinnis fires. That's over to third. Throw over to second. Is it a double play? It is. And that's how the inning ends.
Great fielding.
McGinnis is fired up. 6-4-3 or 5-4-3, and the Buffs are out of it. It's 5-1. We head to the bottom of the 5th here in Boulder.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to another week of Scope Up Sports Live. My name is Zachary Giesenslaw.
I'm Gia Henriken.
We've had a wonderful week of sunny skies and high temperatures here in Boulder, just to be hit with a bunch of snow and cold this morning, so we hope you're all staying warm at home.
We do have a lot to cover, so let's get straight into it.
We begin tonight with some solemn news from Boulder this week. On March 1st, 2026, Buffalo's backup quarterback Dominique tragically passed away. 23-year-old Ponder was pronounced dead at the scene after allegedly losing control of his vehicle and striking an electrical pole. It was announced on Friday that Ponder's memorial service will be held tomorrow, March 7th at noon. This service is open to the public and will be located at the Glenn Miller Ballroom on campus. Harrison Simeon has more on this developing story.
No one expected Colorado's spring season to start here. A curve of baseline road.
Is he 6'7"? That's.
Welcome back to Scott Carpenter Park. We're in the bottom of the fifth, as I got thrown off by something really quick, but we're back to the bottom of the fifth. Finn Simone steps in.
Number 15, Finn Simones.
He's got a walk, a run scored, and a strikeout his last time up. 3 straight flyouts for the Buffaloes, 2 of which to right field, 1 to center. Colorado looking for some more hits, just 1 on the day. They have 5 runs. First pitch,
high fly
into right. Second baseman going back, and he drops it. Simone's thought about going to second, but that's an error on Utah.
Number 12, Caden Meyer.
looks very catchable from here. It's a pitch and a hit high, way up high in the air, and unable to track it down.
So that brings up Caden Meyer after Simone's on first after the E4. Meyer grounds this one over to short. They try to get the turn. They can, but Meyer's safe at first.
Third baseman, number 3, Richie Biberoche.
When the ball's in play, just kind of let it go. And then after you can add your stuff. So that brings up Richie Biberoche. Colorado remains with a runner on first. As you can see all of Balin's texts right now on his laptop. Your dad just texted if you're watching the Puerto Rico-Panama game.
Bases are loaded for Puerto Rico, 2 outs.
Ooh, bases are loaded, 2 outs. Puerto Rico, who's up? Is that
Castro.
Willie Castro? Gotta love the World Baseball Classic. Only comes around every so often. That pitch fouled away into Marine Street. Meyer, or Biberoche, had the double his last time up. Nearly got out of here. Runner goes, and this one hit well again. Out to center, and it's caught. What a catch by the center fielder back by the warning track.
Like you said, what a great catch, backing up on that one and out in the warning track. It looked like it was close to being gone from here. Probably a few feet away, but still an excellent swing by Biberoche on that one.
Yeah, Meyer had to retreat to first, but Schwartz now stepping in with 2 outs. While runner on first, Buffaloes still quite can't get some hits together while they maintain a lead through about 5 innings. Now the runner goes again, throw down, looks to be in time, and it is.
Great throw from the catcher on that one.
Meyer's gunned down by Owen Miller. And that ends the frame. Still 5-1 Colorado. We'll head to the 6th. It's going pretty fast on Scoop Sports.
The brackets, and then of course the LED displays that have shown the court and their teams as they're doing player introductions have just been absolutely electric. And you can see here as I come out near the T-Mobile Center and the new LED courts, it is absolutely incredible. You can see here behind me as some of the teams are warming up for this next game between West Virginia and Arizona State. The winner of this match will play Colorado and Baylor. As the bracket is beginning to shape up a little bit, Kansas State and TCU will play for the first spot tomorrow in the Big 12 Tournament Championship game, which will be played on Sunday. BYU fell earlier today, so there will be no Monday finals. But the Big 12 tournament is really shaping up to be a battle of teams that have been kind of underlooked. As you look at Kansas State looking for their bid in March, should they win the Big 12 tournament. And Colorado on the bubble. Kansas was on the bubble, who was a team that was battling yesterday with Colorado. BYU was on the bubble, as I mentioned them earlier. They lost earlier today, however. And the Big 12, again, one of the best, showing why it's one of the best leagues in the nation. But I'll send it back to you guys at the desk. I've been Jake Chow here from the T-Mobile Center in Kansas City, Missouri. You heard it here first.
The House of Pain will stay standing as the University of Colorado extended women's head coach J.R. Payne's contract through 2031 with a unanimous vote by the Board of Regents on Wednesday. Payne is in her 10th season as the Buffaloes women's basketball head coach.
It's the 6th already here at Scott Carpenter Park, and Colorado leads it 5-1 over the Utah Utes. James Roberts of Utah steps in, 0 for 2 day. Grounded out to short his first time up, and last time, one of the many strikeouts registered by a Colorado pitcher. Max McGinnis back for his second inning of work and fires it right there for strike one.
The senior from Menlo Park, California, averaging around 400 batting. Let's see if he can get on the board here.
Yeah, Roberts, the 3-hole hitter. If anybody's going to start a rally, it's the 3-hole hitter, 3-4-5, heart of the order for the Utes. Utah with 2 hits today, Colorado with just 1. So, a little bit surprising. Not unheard of in club baseball with all the errors, unforced stuff, walks, etc. Pitch missed just inside. It's 1-1. Roberts takes ball 2.
Other than that last pitch, McGinnis has had a similar game to Nickerson, not allowing that many hits and getting out of innings, even with runners close to or on scoring position.
Yeah, he had the walk last inning, but then drew a double play, had a strikeout. His first batter faced. That ball blooped into center. That's a base hit, and it gets by the center fielder.
Uh-oh.
Might be going for 3. That's Nathan Hoffman, I believe, out there. A rare miscue, and it cost them 3 bases. Roberts over to third base.
Great
Just
base running.
A funny hop. Obviously, the grass in a little bit of a precarious state with the snow yesterday.
Is that going to be counted as a triple, or is that just a single with an error?
I think it might just be the single with the error.
So great base running there from Roberts. And
yeah, it's just what the doctor ordered for Utah. Now with Owen Miller, cleanup hitter up. Takes it in the dirt. Roberts 0 for 1 today. Walked his last time up. Big spot here in the 6th. Utah looking to creep back in it. With Colorado not playing well, particularly on offense, but still putting up some runs to hold the lead. Nobody out, runner on third. The 1-1. And it hit him. Sort of a check swing, but it was high and tight. And now runners on the corners with nobody out.
An unforced error. Another base taken by Owen Miller, who walked his last time up and now hit by pitch.
Number 22, Samuel Snyder.
That brings up Samuel Snyder, first baseman.
Exactly. If you want the Utah Utes to get back into the game, you walk them, you give them hit by pitches. That's how the Buffs scored all their runs, so they cannot be doing that if they want to win this game.
Colorado beats teams by not making mistakes. Now a couple they throw over. Nice little pickoff move, but not in time from McGinnis as he's a little bit on the ropes to start this inning. The right-handed reliever gets a swing and miss.
Great pitch there by McGinnis. Had the batter go under it, and now looking to see if he can strike him out.
Snyder looking to just get Utah a bit closer. They throw over again. First baseman fell over, but he hangs on to it. Runners back in safely. Now looks like to be a mound visit. Might be the end of McGinnis' day. Coach shuffling through his cards. Buffs have the bullpen working. We'll see what they decide.
If that was McGinnis' last pitch thrown, I mean, great pitching day. Struggled near the end there, but if the pitcher who comes after him can get out of it, it'll be a very solid day for McGinnis.
Yeah, it looks like he'll maintain his spot
looks
on
like
the
he
mound.
does.
Just to calm him down. I mean, it would have been interesting to pull him after just throwing over to first in the middle of an at-bat. Snyder in a big spot here. Can make up for a slow start. Still some time left in this game, plenty. But Utah still has plenty time to creep back. That pitch is hit well out to right. Back at the wall. It's gone! Just like that, it's a one-run game. Home run for Samuel Snyder.
Maybe they should have pulled Max McGinnis there. I mean, letting up a home run to the right side of the field. That was a no-doubter if I do say so myself.
A 3-run bomb as they celebrate at home plate. Snyder brings the Utes within one.
Third baseman, number 10, Elijah Gremens.
And a great batter coming up. Elijah Gremens, 455 average. Let's see if he can do anything on the mound here.
Yeah, at least clears the deck for McGinnis. Just a mental reset. But the hardest hit ball of the day. We've had some balls that have carried pretty well out towards the warning track and such, but that one had everything and more. That ball popped up right side. First baseman calling him off. And finally gets the first out for Colorado.
Big swing there by Elijah Gremens. Just got a little under it, but good effort and a nice pitch to secure that first out of the inning.
Yeah, Gremens pops out. He had the only hit, one of 2 hits up to that point for Utah. This guy has the other one. It's Grady Hopkin. Fouls that first pitch off after singling his last time up. So the Utes have unleashed and really have the Buffs thinking about how they can get some offense here in the 6th. CU with just 1 hit today. That was Utah's 3rd, but it was a big one. A 3-run homer. After the single, an error, but a runner on 3rd. then the hit by pitch, then the big fly.
Yeah, the Buffaloes letting the Utes get back into this game after having a 5-0 lead earlier in the day. And Grady Hopkin here looking for his second hit.
Oh, perfectly placed. McGinnis takes his hat off in a little frustration, but the quintessential blooper puts Hopkins on for his second hit of the day.
Just got down between the second baseman and the outfielder. Perfectly placed ball there.
Yeah, I mean, there are 3 fielders converging and just
Yeah.
split the difference between all of them. Now Zachary Clay up for the Utes. Walked his first time, then a strikeout, as McGinnis just tries to hang on to get out of this inning. Nickerson was on a pitch count, so decided to go with some relief. And after a solid first, McGinnis is struggling through the 6th inning. One before it, throws over. Just to keep Hopkin honest. Swing and a miss. 1-2. I'm sure McGinnis satisfied to see that. Just an update on the World Baseball Classic front. Panama leading Puerto Rico in extra innings now. Top of the 10th, 3-2. Have a runner on second, but a strikeout. As McGinnis thought it was out number 3, it was just 2 outs.
A very low strike there, probably right on the bottom of the zone, but a great pitch there to get that strike 3.
Yeah, very animated inning for McGinnis. Pretty up and down.
Absolutely.
That's an up for him.
That's definitely.
2 down now with a runner on first. It's Cody DeBeer. They throw over again. DeBeer batting for the 2nd straight inning. He's 0 for 2. Foul away.
DeBeer out of Half Moon Bay, California. A lot of this Utes team is made out of kids who went to whose hometown is California, and it looks like DeBeer swing and a miss there. Batting an average of .333, a great average for DeBeer. See if he can get his first hit of the day here.
He represents the go-ahead run. 0-2 the count. Throw over one more time. Hopkin back in safe. Tying run on first in the bottom of the 6th here. McGinnis gets a ball chopped to second. Second baseman stumbles, but he makes the play to finish the frame. Utah's right back in it. Almost a brand new ball game after a 3-run home run from Samuel Snyder. It's 5-4 here in Boulder. Let's go to the bottom of the 6th.
You have an answer?
What is stand up, sing loud, and do the Ralphie horns?
Correct. Balin, the board is yours.
Give me tailgate traditions for 400.
All right, here's the answer. The must-have item to wear on game day to show your buff pride. Kieran?
What is black and gold?
That's correct. Nothing says school spirit like those 2 colors. Choose the next one.
Let's do fan etiquette for 600.
Fan etiquette. The proper response when you hear someone yell, "Go Buffs."
What is Skull Buffs?
Skull Buffs is right. Looks like we've got some true Buffs fans here. But thank you all for tuning in. Thank you to our contestants, and see you next time.
The men's golfers moved up to number 47 in the nation after taking home hardware at the Wyoming Desert Intercollegiate. The Buffaloes look to add to their trophy case at the Lambkin San Diego Classic starting on Monday. Number 38 Long Beach University is the highest-ranked team participating in the tournament, followed by Colorado. The Buffs are beginning a tough stretch of their season, competing in tournaments in 3 straight weeks.
Coming off a first-place finish, the women's golf squad looks to replicate that success at the Game Above Invitational on Monday. The two-day tournament in Palos Verdes, California will feature the first 2 rounds on Monday and the final round on Tuesday. The Buffaloes will face some tougher competition.
From Sharon, Massachusetts, the designated
Back
hitter,
for the bottom of the
number
6th.
22, Elon Schwartz.
And you probably heard it. Elon Schwartz is up for the Buffs. Now only leading 5-4. Schwartz, the designated hitter tonight, had an appearance last inning, but Caden Meyer got caught stealing during it. And he'll once again face Utah's Noah Shamloo, who's looked very solid out of the pen. Just 1 hit allowed by Utah today. Buffs have taken advantage of some miscues and walks. There were 6 in the 2nd inning alone. That ball fouled away. Just over into back behind the dugout.
I just want to say what a great game Noah Shamloo has have. Sharing the same name as me. I mean, he has definitely been a good replacement for Samuel Butts, who struggled early.
Yeah, had all those walks, but pretty good. Pretty painless 2 innings. Besides 1 error that went on a pop fly over to the second baseman. No base runners for the Buffs since the 3rd inning. Schwartz swings and misses. 2-2 the count.
Schwartz looking for his first hit of the day, as he has a good average, 400 average. Let's see if he can muster a hit here today.
Count is full as Schwartz is 0 for 1, had the hit by pitch last time up. Strikeout back in the 2nd. That broke up a sequence of 5 walks. Payoff coming. Fouled off.
Staying alive is Schwartz. If there's one thing that juniors and seniors do, they stay alive on pitches that are 2 strikes by fouling it off.
So 3-2 once more. Hits him again. That time didn't even come close to anywhere competitive, as the first base runner since the 3rd for the Buffaloes goes to Elon Schwartz. And now it's Judd Stafford.
Baseman, number 11, Judson
Seems like
Stafford.
Elon Schwartz is a magnet to the ball. 2 hit by pitches so far here today. That is his source of getting on base today, and I mean, he'll take it, I guess, even if it hurts a little.
Stafford also took a hit by pitches last time up. Walked his first time, so been able to get on base. Bottom of the order for the Buffaloes. As this pitch is popped up, might clang off our press box, and it
does.
I believe landed right behind it. So we were hanging onto our ears up here.
Making
but it's
sure
0-1.
Making sure the ball doesn't knock my headset off here.
Buffs with a runner on first to start the bottom of the 6th. He had a good response after Utah got the 3-run homer. Time is called. Just a couple notes on Shamloo. He's a junior. Obviously a right-hander from Encinitas, California. Having a good outing here. As you mentioned, a lot of California natives on this Utah roster. That pitch just misses. Catcher winced, but it's 2-1 on Stafford. Ooh, shit. That pitch also misses. Okay. 3-1 the count. And that's a strike.
Ooh, questionable one right there. Maybe down in the corner.
Yeah, up zone's been pretty fair today.
I would say so.
But an interesting at bat here. 2 strikes. Throw over to first. And that was ball 3. My mistake. So count was 2-2 there. Now it's 3-2.
Let's see if Judd Stafford can get his first hit of the day. Batting .250 on the year. And here's the pitch. Big swing and a miss on that one. He struck him out.
Stafford goes down for the first out.
Catcher number 28, Bryce Smith.
Now it's Bryce Smith. Smith had a walk and a ground out on his day.
The 9 batter has been doing pretty well. Got a walk his first time up, but had an out the last time out.
Starter behind the dish today. They throw over. Little hezzy from Schwartz, but he makes it back. We have Baby Shark coming up on the next. Just a bit of a spoiler. Baby Shark for Gabe Zebrak next time he steps to the dish. But Smith takes another ball.
Smith, the 9 batter, trying to get the Buffs a little bit of breathing room here. Only up by 1 now after that home run there in the last inning by the Utes, and looking to get his first hit on the day as well.
That ball fouled away.
He struck out, yeah.
So 1 down, runner on first. That pitch in the dirt. One of 100,375 throws back to first base today. Still does not get the runner.
Yeah, Owen Miller trying really hard to make sure that he doesn't get too much of a lead as he may be looking to steal.
Well, the Buffs turn inches to miles as that ball to the backstop for ball 4. They run over to their bases just in case it got away, but not too much from Miller, and runners on first and second now. Smith with the walk.
The Buffs putting together a pretty solid 6th inning, and see if they can get some breathing room as there is a talk on the mound right now.
Yeah, it looks like Utah will come together to discuss how to face Gabe Zebrak, top of the order for the Buffs with runners on first and second. Pretty big opportunity, still just 1 out. Oh, and while we wait, walk-off home run for Puerto Rico in the 10th, I believe.
Wow. That's big.
Can't say who quite yet.
It was Samuel Snyder.
Gabe Zebrak steps in. Trying to figure out who hit the homer for Puerto Rico. Takes a strike. Keeping Shamlou out there to deal with a little bit of a jam. Buffs looking for some much-needed insurance in the late goings. That ball hit well. It's carrying out to center. Not enough on it. Caught. Runner will tag and head to third. Schwartz will put runners on the corners. Productive out from Zebrak. Could have been worse for Utah, though.
Could have been worse, like you said. Just got under it just a little bit too much as center fielder was able to track it down. Now, a big play in this game coming up as
number 1, Aiden Melberg.
Aiden Melberg coming up with a runner in scoring position and runners on the corners. Let's see if he can get not only his first hit of the game, but a run on the board.
Yeah, Zebrak now 0 for 4. Melberg 0 for 2, had a walk in the second inning, a ground out and a fly out also on the ledger. That ball's high, but runner goes. Throw down is deflected away by the second baseman, and Schwartz will score.
Wow. Just an error that you cannot have if you're the Utes.
Must have been a miscommunication between the second baseman and shortstop. Got in the way of the throw down. Ball just went off his glove, had to kind of hop for it. Deflected into no man's land. And the Buffs take advantage of another mistake to extend their lead a little bit more. And we have confirmation that Darnell Hernaiz, that's my best pronunciation, hit the walk-off homer. Now a runner on second for the Buffs, 2 outs, and it's 6-4. I guess it'll go down as an E4 to cost Utah a run. That's the second error by the second baseman today. 2-0. Melberg takes 3-0 now. Nathan Hoffman on deck for the Buffaloes. 6-4 our score here in Boulder. Buffs looking for some more with a runner in scoring position. And it's ball 4. So with the base open, they'll elect to just put Melberg on and face Hoffman.
Center fielder, number 17, Nathan Hoffman.
Deciding to face Hoffman. Hoffman averaging around 280 this year. Has a slugging of .444. Maybe the better option if you are the Utes, but let's see if Hoffman can do anything.
Yeah, Hoffman playing got a little bit of a slow start to his spring. Usually it would be up there in the 300s at least. But has 2 strikeouts today. Has Balin double jinxed him.
Yeah, he definitely needs to get
Talking about how
going.
little he struck out, and then he did twice in 2 innings. Had a fly out to center. Well hit ball, though.
That's true.
Was able to get good contact his last time, so he's feeling better, and he's got 2 runners on this time to help him out if a hit were to occur. Takes inside.
Now's the time for him to get going as they have runners on first and second, and he definitely can. He definitely has the potential to. So let's see if he can get his first hit of the game here.
Colorado's 5-tool president stares down the pitch, hits it into right center. Will it have enough? It won't quite again. Near the warning track, another unsatisfying flyout for Colorado. But they do get a run off another Utah miscue. It's 6-4 as we head to the 7th here at Scott Carpenter Park.
Weeks. The freshman duo of Braden Burries and Koa Pete have dominated all season and will look to spoil Colorado's senior night. The Buffs have their work cut out for them in their last game before the Big 12 tournament.
Speaking of the Big 12 tournament, our very own Oliver Hayes is ready to break down the Black and Gold's chances come next week.
Hey, my name is Oliver Hayes, and welcome back to this week's edition of Buff Banner. And happy Jason Tatum Day to all those celebrating. But looking at the Colorado men's basketball team's chances in the Big 12 tournament, a path to the Big 12 where they could punch their ticket to March Madness. It seems to be the only way that they could do so given the season that they've had. Let's take a look at what they could do in Kansas City next week. So far with the current standing, the Buffs are set to be the 11th seed in the Big 12 tournament, and right now they're set to play number 14 seed Baylor. Out of all the teams that the Buffs could have played between I believe it was Oklahoma State and Kansas State. Baylor was a tough pull of those three, given that the Bears beat up the Buffs in Waco earlier this season by quite a number of points. I believe it was 19 in that one due to the scoring array that the Bears have. So a tough matchup for the Buffs in the first round, but they're looking to get revenge. The Buffs have been playing well down the stretch this season, and having played some of the better teams in the conference, I'm sure that with their front court, even though Sebastian Ranchik is dealing with an injury, may be able to handle the smaller Bears. Now, if we look at the second weekend, where the Buffs will have to face number 6 TCU, they have a much better matchup there, just personnel-wise, from the guards to the big men, where TCU kind of lacks. The Buffs match up quite well. Both teams have six-foot guards in the backcourt, and I think this could be a very fun game, even though the Horned Frogs did not really bring it in the game in Boulder earlier this season, where the Buffs crushed them. And so for this game, the Buffs will need to do a lot of what they did in Boulder. They're going to need to look to push the pace, and even though they won't have the altitude, they'll need to bring the energy themselves and rely on the depth, especially through the young guys. Looking at the other games, I believe the higher seeds in the first round will win the majority of those games, and so that's why I have West Virginia, BYU, and Arizona State moving on to the second round.
7 inning now here at Scott Carpenter, as there's been a pitching change for the Buffaloes. Kyle Cacciavillani out on the mound. The freshman, also from Aurora, has appeared in one game, didn't allow a run, and he'll face Utah's top of the order as Nico Wharton steps in. 7th inning, not sure what that intro to it was. But Wharton walked his last time up. He's 0 for 2. Takes a pitch inside. Cacciavillani, a graduate of Grandview High School, unlike McGinnis, who was a graduate of Rangeview High School, one of the many views in Colorado.
Aurora,
yes,
both
in Aurora. Not to be confused with each other. Grandview, home of the Skillball Sports MVP right now, Jake Chow, out in Kansas City, Missouri for the Big 12 tournament right now. If you haven't been keeping up with our social media, well, if you have, you've seen a lot of him lately. He's been doing a great job covering the women's basketball team. Unfortunate end to their Big 12 tournament run.
Although it was an unfortunate end, like I said earlier.
They made a great
season.
Great effort.
Great
they're going to be in March Madness.
Absolutely. Unlike the men's team, but maybe that can change in years following.
2-1 pitch is outside as, Buffs are facing Arizona, and still an hour to go until tip-off for that.
Crazy game.
Super late one.
Yeah, super late game.
Wharton in a hitter's count against Cacciavillani. I'm trying to. He takes a walk. Cacciavillani with the walk. Villani. I'm the Italian here. I should know this. I know.
Center fielder number 20.
The freshman on the mound trying to get his jitters off. Jitters out of him.
Had some solid action in the fall.
That's true. That is true.
Now it's Joshua Willis.
Yeah.
Grounded into a double play his last time, and now possibly another double play situation. Buffs trying to hang on to a 6-4 lead here in the 7th. Right there for a strike.
Joshua Willis from Hurricane, Utah, maybe wants to bring a hurricane here. Maybe get
that ball's well hit. Does it have enough? Not quite. Once more, caught by the left fielder, and that's the first out.
If I would have finished that sentence, maybe we would have had a home run. As I was.
Yeah, you almost rang that one in. Would have tied the game.
I maybe jinxed it. Who knows? But a great hit ball from Joshua Willis. Just unable to get out of the park, and that would have tied it up if he would have gotten that maybe a few more feet.
Runner goes, but it hits him. James Roberts reaches on the hit by pitch. So now runners on first and second.
Can't have unforced errors right there. Can't be hitting guys while another person is on base now. Now the Utes could put the Buffaloes in trouble right here.
Yeah, here's Miller, represents the go-ahead run, tying run on first. And Samuel Snyder, who had the 3-run home run right behind him on deck. Miller took a hit by pitch his last time. And the ball's to the backstop. So Cacciavillani a little rattled out of the pen here in the 7th. And the Utes are about a hit away from tying this game.
The freshman struggling a little bit on the mound here. Let's see if he can get things going and prevent the Utes from scoring at least one run.
So 1-0 on Miller. He's had a very solid season so far. Hasn't gotten a hit today, but one here would tie the game, at least.
Definitely the most important at-bat for him tonight. Averaging close to 471. A great average. Let's see if he can put that on display at this bat.
That's a strike. Needed one in the 2-0 count. 2-1 now on Miller.
Great pitch there by, oh gosh, I don't want to pronounce his name.
Cacciavillani.
Cacciavillani.
There you go.
Great pitch.
2-1. Inside, 3-1. And an open base, 3-1 count. The guy who hit a 3-run home run just last inning stands on deck. Miller hits this one to second. Bad hop, but Stafford able to hang on to it. Now they'll throw home to try to get two, and they can't. So a run scores. Warden able to slip around the tag. But now they're saying he might have not stepped on home, and now he does. So if he didn't before, now it's 6-5. But nearly a double play. Nice heads-up move by Stafford to pick the bad hop, get the out at first.
I would say so.
And then Zebrak almost got what would have been a back-breaking double play for Utah, but the Utes get a run, and that brings up Snyder. First pitch, dribbled over to second. Stafford gets the out at first. Cacciavillani gets out of the jam and keeps Colorado on top. Utes get one back, but it's 6-5 as we head to the bottom of the 7th. Let's stretch here on Scoboth Sports.
Indoor championships. Avery Pearson will lead the Buffs competing in the women's 800 meters. Pearson punched her ticket at the Colorado Last Chance meet with a time just under 2 minutes on the men's side. Colorado's distance medley relay of Justine Kipkich, Danny Tragars, Drew Costello, and Isaiah Gibbons will make an appearance. Cole Matheson and TJ Hansen will join the squad as alternates. Gibbons and Kipkich will also double back in the men's mile. The NCAA Indoor Championships will take place March 13th through 14th in Fayetteville, Arkansas, and will begin streaming on ESPN+.
The tennis team is coming off a split weekend on the road to open Big 12 play. The Black and Gold swept the Iowa State Cyclones on Friday, while the Jayhawks swept the Buffs 4-0 on Sunday. Colorado returns home this weekend to open up conference play on the Front Range. The 4-4 Kansas State Wildcats roll on the border tonight at 6 p.m., while the 5-4 Cowgirls of Oklahoma State take on the Buffs early on Sunday at 10:30 a.m. Catch both matches at the Meadows Club right here in Boulder.
Welcome to Folsom Feud. I'm your host, Colby, here with 3 contestants today, Lincoln, Balin, and Kieran. Lincoln, start us off.
I'll take game day etiquette for 200.
All right. This is the best way to show respect during the CU fight song.
What is standing, singing loud, and raising your hand in the hook 'em horn sign?
Not what we're looking for. Balin, you have an answer?
What is stand up, sing loud, and do the Ralphie horns?
Correct. Balin, the board is yours.
Give me tailgate traditions for 400.
All right, here's the answer. The must-have item to wear on game day to show your buff pride. Kieran?
What is black and gold?
That's correct. Nothing says school spirit like those two colors. Choose the next one.
Back for the bottom of the 7th. 6-5 our score. Colorado just ahead. And they'll be facing a new pitcher, a lefty on the mound for Utah. It's Kyle Breslin, a junior from, once again, Encinitas, California, and San Dieguito Academy. And he'll face Finn Simones, leading off this inning for the Buffs. A walk on his day, has reached on an error as well. A strikeout in between. He'll try to get the Buffs some insurance after, see, you got a run on another error from Utah. But the Utes were able to get one back on a fielder's choice. 1-1 on Simones.
Simone scored the first run of the day. Let's see if he can get his first hit of the day as well.
Swings and misses. He's batting .368 coming into tonight. Also one of the Buffs' best fielders, slick fielding shortstop. 1-2 pitch is upstairs. Even count at 2. Buffs in a tight battle with the Utes on opening night at home for the spring. Simones fouls the 2-2 pitch away. Buffs will probably just play this out with the starters. That one nearly hit him. Full count now. Had to swing his arms up to avoid that pitch. As Breslin looks in. Ball 4.
Great eye by Simones there. Not falling for the one that just cuts outside. And CU starts that inning off strong with a runner on first base.
Pitching now for the Utah Utes, number 31, Kyle Breslin.
So, third straight inning with a leadoff base runner for the Buffaloes. They've only managed one run out of it so far, but now a square to bunt, and now Simones might be caught in a pickle. He had second base, then turned back towards first, and is now in a real pickle here between first and second. Now the ball hits him, and he's able to get back to first. One of the most Looney Tunes plays I've seen in quite a minute.
Saved by the bonk to the head.
We'll see if there's hot tags. There are no hot tags in club baseball, so Simones avoids disaster and is back at first.
Number 12, Caden Meyer.
And Caden Meyer's up in an 0-1 count. Breslin, left-hander, another square to bunt. Goes foul, so no more bunting for Meyer. 0-2.
Bunting trying to get Simones into scoring position here so that the Buffs could maybe get an insurance run in this inning.
They do square to bunt, but now it hits him. And it's a valid hit by pitch. Meyer will take first.
Just
squared around the bunt in an 0-2 count is usually a cardinal sin of baseball, but it works out in the Buffs' favor.
Number 3, Richie Biberoche.
Kyle Breslin struggling here early. 2 batters faced, 2 on base. Let's see if he can get it together following the
hit by pitch.
Hit by pitch, yes.
And he'll face the only Buff with a hit today in Richie Biberoche, as Colorado has 6 runs on the board, just 1 hit. And weirdly, that hit did not come around to score. Biberoche only got to third, and now another square around, some small ball being played by the Buffaloes. Pitches outside, and now a quick mound visit for Breslin, as Utah tries to remain within one. Breslin has appeared in 2 games this season. Not great out of the pen with a 13.5 ERA.
Yep.
But has had some strikeouts on the season. We'll probably be looking for one right here with runners on first and second and nobody out here in the bottom of the 7th. What have been your biggest takeaways from this, Noah? Just this game in
Honestly,
general?
the amount of patience the Buffaloes had. They've had a lot of patience, especially when in tough counts, especially. That's how they got all their runs, off walks and some hit by pitches as well, and some wild pitches as well. The wild pitches have been a killer for the Utah Utes, and that is why they are still trailing in this game. But they are still in this game as long as Breslin can get an out here, as that one sails upward for a ball.
2-0 on Biberoche. Still trying to bunt his friends over some bases. Maybe try to force some more Utah mistakes here. The 2-0. Takes a strike. Didn't worry about the bunt that time.
Biberoche has had the most power on the team in this one. Let's see if he can get something out in the outfield and maybe score one of the runners on base.
Tries to bunt again. Went around. Now throw to third. Over his head. Simons will score. Third baseman wasn't quite ready for the throw down. Wasn't even standing on his bag. So, like we said, the bunts have been working both ways, I would assume, but they've caused some lackadaisical fielding from Utah. Now CU is up 7-5.
The Utes have not had their strongest fielding performance this game, as a lot of the time we see Buffalo scoring and on their last 2 runs on errors by the Utes. Unforced errors like that is how you can lose a game, and now the Colorado Buffaloes are in an insurance situation right now.
Full count on Biberoche. The pitch from Breslin. Swung on, fouled away. Runner on second, nobody out. Caden Meyer over at second. Biberoche working a 1-for-2 day so far. As Colorado looks to extend their lead, still with just 1 hit today. He'll call time right before the payoff. A little bit to the chagrin of Utah.
The Utah bullpen, I don't think they like that one.
Well, the Buffs dugout quite amused. The 3-2. Biberoche takes a strike at the top of the zone.
Great pitch right there. As Kyle Breslin,
designated hitter number 22, Elon
who
Schwartz,
struggled a little bit earlier in this inning, now has got the first out of this inning as well.
Goes to the strikeout looking. Now Elon Schwartz steps in. Takes a ball. Yeah, Biberoche, that was a very high strike. But
it was definitely questionable. It was close to the zone.
yeah, borderline call, but ump was decisive about it. Big first out for Utah. Runner goes. Swing and a miss. Throw down. Not in time. Nice stolen base from Meyer after he got
great jump by Meyer, too.
thrown out earlier. Now steals third. Big base for the Buffs. 90 feet away from adding another insurance run. Bottom of the 7th here in Boulder. Buffs trying to keep the Utes away. There's another questionable strike in the eyes of Colorado. Even Balin turned around.
Colorado dugout did not like that one.
Quickly 0-2 on Schwartz here. In a pressure situation, just trying to probably put a ball in play. Get another run home. 0-2 at his eye level.
Schwartz has had a hit by pitch the last 2 times he's up to bat. Let's see if he can get one in play here.
Swing and a miss. And Breslin gets another strikeout.
Great pitch there by Breslin. Right outside the top of the zone. That would have probably been a call to ball, but he got Elon Schwartz chasing.
So I did want to update everyone on the World Baseball Classic game between the U.S. and Great Britain as Judd Stafford steps in, takes first pitch for a ball. Nick is telling me that Great Britain blew a 13 colony lead, but they only blew a one run lead against the U.S. in the World Baseball Classic. It's now 8-1. The United States over the British in the 7th inning.
There was definitely a scare there by Great Britain
just
on
the
the
fact
U.S.
that Britain was up at all.
For around 5 innings they were up, I believe. Something like that. And then the United States decided to go all MLB stars on them, you know.
Well, I mean, every player you look at for the U.S., you recognize. Great Britain, not so much. 0-2. Fouled away by Stafford. Hanging in there. 2 outs, runner on third.
I do commend Great Britain for having that lead for like the first 5 innings. That's something that they should be proud of. But
and
U.S. team was a little too much.
Low bar, but their uniforms are much better this year.
I would say so.
Ooh, 0-2
that
pitch.
One
plunks him, or rather that was 1-2. But either way, Stafford reaches base via hit by pitch.
Catcher, number 28, Bryce Smith.
It's been an up and down inning for Breslin. Had the walk, hit by pitch, back-to-back strikeouts, and now another hit by pitch to bring up Bryce Smith with runners in the corners. Oh, that's a balk.
It's like a balk.
Just dropped the ball and is transferred to his glove. Breslin allows another Colorado run to score. They're cackling like hyenas over there in the dugout. Meyer will be awarded home. It's 8-5 here in Boulder. Yeah, just plopped the ball on the ground.
Do you think the home dugout has gotten into Kyle Breslin's head at all?
I would say I've seen my fair share of opposing pitchers that have struggled with the heckling Buffs dugout over my years.
Yeah.
They're very vocal. They care about their players. They care about their team. They care about success. And a lot of miscues by Utah today. 1 hit for the Buffs, 8 runs. I can't stop saying it. 2-1 on Smith. That's a strike.
It is impressive how in 1 hit, I would have never thought that they would have 8 runs. Like, that is pretty outstanding. Their ability to walk.
I have seen performances reminiscent of that, but they usually have more than 1 hit. It's like,
That's true.
Maybe they'll have 4 or 5, and then they get like 10 or 11 out of it, But the fact that they've only really gotten 1 hit, they've had some well-hit balls for sure.
Oh, yeah.
So they could arguably have more with, a little thing one way or the other. Fouled away. Count remains at 2-2 on Bryce Smith. Runner in scoring position over at second. Gabe Zebrak on deck. 9-hole hitter for the Buffs. He's got 2 walks on his day and a ground out. The 2-2. Hits him? No, it did not, but it's to the backstop, and Stafford will take third. And it's a full count. Yeah, just grazed his pants there.
Yeah, it looked like it either grazed it or maybe even hit him. I'm not sure.
If this was the World Series, I definitely would imagine that would have been reviewed. And just see, like, from every different angle in super slow motion if that hits him, but not so. That ball fouled hard away over to the right side. Rolls towards the parking lot. No cars are hurt. No cars have been injured, I think, at all today.
That's good.
The signature parking lot of Scott Carpenter Park. Foul tip. Just got a piece of it to stay alive. Yeah, I think at this point we should have a parking lot cam somewhere for these live streams. Full count pitch, swung on and missed. So Breslin gets 3 strikeouts in the inning, but the Buffaloes are able to score 2 more runs on some errors by the Utes. It's 8-5. Let's go to the 8th.
Baylor, out of all the teams that the Buffs could have played between I believe it was Oklahoma State and Kansas State, Baylor was the tough pull of those 3, given that the Bears beat up the Buffs in Waco earlier this season by quite a number of points. I believe it was 19 in that one due to the scoring array that the Bears have. So a tough matchup for the Buffs in the first round, but they're looking to get revenge. The Buffs have been playing well down the stretch this season, and having played some of the better teams in the conference, I'm sure that with their front court, even though Sebastian Ranchik is dealing with an injury, may be able to handle the smaller Bears. Now, if we look at the second weekend, where the Buffs will have to face number 6 TCU, they have a much better matchup there, just personnel-wise, from the guards to the big men, where TCU kind of lacks. The Buffs match up quite well. Both teams have six-foot guards in the backcourt, and I think this could be a very fun game, even though the Horned Frogs did not really bring it in the game in Boulder earlier this season, where the Buffs crushed them. And so for this game, the Buffs will need to do a lot of what they did in Boulder. They're going to need to look to push the pace, and even though they won't have the altitude, they'll need to bring the energy themselves and rely on the depth, especially through the young guys. Looking at the other games, I believe the higher seeds in the first round will win the majority of those games, and so that's why I have West Virginia, BYU, and Arizona State moving on to the second round along with the Buffs. Then you look at the third round. That's where you have the double-bye teams, the top 4 seeds in the conference, the top 4 in the Big 12 that look to make national championship runs come March Madness time. You have number 1 seed Arizona, number 2 Houston, number 3 Texas Tech, and number 4 Kansas. Looking at the CU Texas Tech game, I believe that's the best poll that the Buffs could get. They made it a game in Boulder, and with a crazy second half comeback, erasing a near 24-point lead that Texas Tech had at the half. And the Buffs only lost by 2, and some may look at the refs due to that one. But given that the Buffs had that performance in Boulder against the Red Raiders, even though they got blown out in Lubbock the second time around, the Red Raiders do not have JT Toppin, and while they have momentum, the Buffs can put together.
Welcome back. Inning number 8 here at Scott Carpenter Park. Harrison Simeon now joined by Kieran Warger in the booth.
Feels good to be back, Harrison. It's only been a couple weeks since I've been on the mic here on SBS, but great to be back, and it's great to be back.
It's been a couple weeks?
I think so. Like the
Even
last
that sounds
game,
insane.
Yeah, it was the WWCHL championship game was the last time I was on the mic at CU Rec Center. But it's great to be back in here for some baseball at Scott Carpenter.
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
This is my favorite sport that we broadcast. I mean, no disrespect to anything else. Hockey's amazing. Lacrosse is amazing. Soccer as well. Everything. But baseball just, it gets something. And, it's really... It's a really, really fun experience. Had a great relationship with the team over the years. They love having us on. We love being able to do this.
Absolutely. But
Elijah Grimmins up for the Utes. Yeah, I didn't really say his name much. Noah was able to get me. Thanks to Noah for the commentary these last few innings, or I believe all game pretty much.
Yes, sir. Third baseman, 1-3 overall here today.
Yeah, had a single.
Had one single.
One of very few hits today.
Very few. Struck out in that 4th inning.
Once again facing Kyle Cacciavillani. That's a strike on the inside corner. Half a step towards first. Was taken by Grimmins. But it's 3-1. Grimmins chops it. It's kind of a swinging bunt, and he'll make it down the first safely. So weak contact, but well placed. It's an infield single for Gramenz. That brings up Grady Hopkins.
Grady Hopkins, the second baseman. He's 2 for 3 on the day. Struck out in that second, scored 1, or made it to first in that 4th inning and 6th. And now coming out here in the 8th.
Yeah, he's had a pretty good day at the plate. In the field, it's been a little different. He's had at least 2 errors, I believe. One that cost Utah a run, but has made up for it. At the plate, had a very well-placed blooper his last time, and now has a leadoff base runner working over at first.
Utes bench dugout rather, very vocal as they're chanting Grady's name.
Yeah, Utah trying to come back into this game. They did. They cut it to 1 both of the last 2 innings. That pitch to the backstop. Gramenz will make it to second. Cacciavillani frustrated. They'll call time and get the chat with Bryce Smith just to discuss how to attack. Now with a runner in scoring position and nobody up.
Not exactly the position Colorado wanted to be in. As we mentioned, Harrison, the first rumble in the Rockies between these 2 squads in this sport.
This is exciting. This schedule, when it came out, this was my favorite schedule drop in Colorado club baseball history. Maybe club sports history.
Absolutely.
Just off the diversity of opponents. A lot of them here at home where we'll be able to live stream those games. It's a walk for Hopkins. So runners on first and second, time called. Buffs might be making a pitching change, and they are. So that's it for Cacciavillani. Struggled in his outing, but will escape with the Buffs still up ahead by 3. So a new pitcher for the Buffaloes is
now pitching for the Colorado Buffaloes,
Wesley Freed.
Wesley Freed.
I believe he might have been hanging out with us in the press box earlier. Started his day up here. Now will take the mound to try to keep the Buffaloes ahead. Tying run at the plate for Utah.
About halfway through this game, Harrison, he was called out of the booth to begin warming up, and here he is now. Had some great tunes before, and will now take to the pitcher's mound for Colorado, their 4th pitcher on the day.
So Freed with 2 appearances on the season when Colorado took the trip up to Texas to play for opponents. Has a 5.1 ERA or 5.07 in those stints. Solid so far on the season, looking to provide some necessary relief. Possibly a setup man in this situation. Utah trying to they've been right in it for most of this game. They were down 5-0, but then got it back to 5-4. So they'll break the huddle. Colorado looking for its first win of the spring season at home. They would move to 4-1 overall as they went 3-1 on their Texas trip. Their lone loss coming to the Oklahoma Sooners. Squared to bunt, but it's strike 1. He misses it. That's Zachary Clay up for the Utes.
The Zach Clay chants, rather, emanating from the dugout.
These chants have been pretty impressive. Will Clay square to bunt again? He will. Lays off of it. It appeared, but it's a called strike. May have just not pulled back in time. And that is the case. So it's 0-2. Big pitch coming from Wesley Freed. Misses outside. One and two now. Clay takes just outside. Reactionary dugouts all around here. We've had a pretty fun day in the press box ourselves.
Absolutely. Players always coming in and out. Just a fantastic time chatting with them.
Clay loops this one high into center. Hoffman makes the catch. Can of corn for the first out. No runners advance.
First two pitches coming from Freed were
Right fielder
on
number
point.
17, Cody DeBeer.
So Freed, a native of Washington, D.C., a graduate of what says to me it's called School Without Walls.
Interesting name.
I believe in that. Does that mean it's outside?
They take field trips in the city a lot.
Oh, okay.
They try to expand the classroom beyond like actual buildings.
So that yeah, it's like a they take a lot of field trips. They go around D.C.
Yeah, use the city as their classroom.
So the city is your classroom. I think
That's a pretty cool concept.
very cool concept. Immersing yourselves in real world scenarios. I wish education was more like that.
Cody DeBeer up for the Utes. He's had a bit of a struggle today. 0 for 3, but can make up for it, still representing the tying run. Utah has today's only homer. It was a 3-run bomb. Both dugouts barking as Freed sets. Kicks and delivers outside. Not the most active crowd tonight, but the dugouts have made up for it.
Absolutely. I mean, baseball, it's on these chilly nights early in the spring season, it's very rare that we'll get crowds larger than the main grandstands.
Yeah.
Right here, if
Well,
that.
it's also a cold night, a Saturday. People might be have other things to attend to, but dugouts are lively. They are ready for baseball season. 2-2 the count on DeBeer. Freed delivers. Swung on, hit out to right, and that's caught. Still no advance. Nice play out there in right by Caden Meyer. So 2 down now after the first 2 runners reached base.
Left fielder number 18, Nico Wharton.
And back to the top of the order for Utah, Nico Wharton. As the Utes are now down to their last 4 outs.
Wharton 0 for 2 overall on the day. Struck out in the first and third.
2 walks, though, his last 2 trips.
Wharton, the freshman from Mill Creek, Utah, graduate of Skyline High School. At 6'3", he's about my height.
Yeah, tall, lanky.
Very
and
similar build, I must say.
Every bit of his flexibility was used in that swing, but it caught nothing. It's 0-2. Freed looking to get out of this inning. The 0-2 to Wharton in the dirt. Colorado looking to pick up a win, but Utah still in it. 8-5, 2 runners on. Runner goes on the 1-2, both do. But it's a strikeout! Called strike 3 on Wharton. He doesn't like it, but the Buffs are loving it.
Freed escapes his first inning on the mound, unharmed. And ladies and gentlemen, Colorado still leading by 3.
Yes, it's 8-5. we head to the bottom of the 8th. Buffs up on Sco Buff Sports.
Done by Thursday night. Chances are we would not be airing this show right now. Be like Xavier. Get your readers done. And don't forget to click save so that you don't lose any of your hard-earned work.
What's going on, Buffs fans? Got a huge weekend of games coming up for you. My name is Paxton Haynes, bringing you to them in rapid fire. Let's start with men's lacrosse. The men's team started 7th ranked in MCLA. They have since dropped out of the rankings, but looking to get back on track with the home opener tonight against Arizona State. They're going to have their hands full with that one. Then, big Sco Buff Sports history. First ever softball game streamed live on our YouTube channel as the CU women's team takes on Air Force Saturday at 11 a.m. And then heading over to the hoop side of things, it is men's basketball against the Arizona Wildcats. Tad Bola's boys will be looking to shock the world Saturday at 9 p.m., a game for you Night Owls. And then finally, with baseball, the home opener over at Scott Carpenter Park, Sunday at 11 a.m., followed by another game right at 1 p.m. against the Utah Utes, the CU baseball team looking to finally win the Mid-American West Division. That's all for Rapid Fire. Back to you guys, back to the desk.
Thanks, Paxton. If you're one of the lucky viewers who stuck around for our entire show, or if you're just now tuning in, we're answering this week's trivia question. How many points did current CU men's basketball assistant Evan Batty score in his 2022 Senior Day upset over second-ranked Arizona? The answer is, drumroll please, 11 points. The mayor of Boulder added 4 rebounds.
Number 18, Gabe Zebrak.
Bottom of the 8th, as they've really given Gabe Zebrak the freshman rub tonight. They've now playing Dora the Explorer as he steps to the plate. Kyle Breslin stays in for Utah. 8-5 our score. Colorado winning and looking for their first win of the spring season at home. That pitch chopped foul. 1-1 the count.
2 quick pitches from Breslin, testing Gabe Zebrak early.
Yeah, I think they're going to keep playing these kiddie walk-up songs until he gets a hit today. So he's probably looking to do some damage. Lefty on lefty matchup. That pitch grounded over to first. Nice pick and the first out for Utah.
Number 1, Aiden Melberg.
So Zebrak, tough day in the batter's box. 0 for 5. Now brings up Aiden Melberg.
That's some Katy
It's
Perry.
been a tough day for most of the Buffs batters.
Yeah.
Just as I've mentioned 1,000 times, 1 hit tonight. But they remain up 8-5. They've gotten runners on. They've generated without having to have too much good contact. We'll see if Melberg looks to. Has 2 walks in his day. Two and 0 the count. Foul tip into the catcher's mitt. 2-1. Yes, they were playing I Kissed the Girl from Katy Perry here. They love their walk-up songs. They get real creative. I remember we've had Minecraft, we've had Halo, we've had plenty of different video game soundtracks. But then there are some that have their set one every time they're up. It's Nathan Hoffman has that Lil Baby song every time.
Yep.
But for a lot of these guys, it's a surprise every time they step up to the plate.
I remember last year Will Gwarick had some very interesting tunes. We'll leave it at that.
So, meanwhile, Utah is going to make a pitching change. Kyle Breslin will depart. Not a bad day. Still, not giving up any hits, but some walks. Had some hit by pitches last inning. And a run scored, but not exactly his fault. So a new pitcher for Utah as we try to corral the name and details. It's Brady Brown. back to the right-handed
Your attention, please.
pitching side.
Now pitching for the Utah Utes, number 26, Brady Brown.
Brown with a 3-point, or actually, we were incorrect.
Correction. Now pitching for the Utah Utes, number 4, Grady Hopkin.
It's Grady Hopkin on the mound for Utah. From Rochester, New York, your home state, Kieran.
Not that far. My cousins used to live in just outside of Rochester. It's a interesting part of the state.
Know anybody from Brighton High School?
Brighton? I can't say that I do, Harrison.
And
But
one
I
of
mean,
several players
yeah.
on Utah's roster to have their height listed as 6 feet and 72 inches. Not sure if that's a mistake.
Yeah, it's.
But yeah, it's 72 inches is 6 feet, so I guess he's 12 feet tall. Some quick math.
Very quick math.
Has a win on the year.
Very impressive.
Has 4 appearances. Pretty solid season so far. 3.52 ERA. And a 1.83 whip. Solid K per 9 as well. So he's looking to keep Utah and its deficit right where it is. 8-5 here in Boulder. Utes with 3 outs remaining to claw back 3 runs. But the Buffs can make it more after this brief warm-up session. It'll be Aiden Melberg still at the plate. Another freshman on this Buffs lineup. 2 freshmen in the Buffs lineup, and they're both in the top 2 spots.
It's not something you see every day from this Buffalo squad. And
Well, yeah, especially in the spring.
Especially,
Fall's when they like to experiment. They get their youngsters out there, their upperclassmen. They like to use a lot of different batters, just see who's got their stuff. But in the spring, if you're batting top 2 in the spring, you know you've made it to a good position. You know that your coaches trust you. And Melberg is one of those guys batting in the 2-hole today. Takes a strike. So it was a mid at-bat pitching change. The count is 2-2 with 1 out here in the bottom of the 8th. Melberg takes the ball outside. Count is full. Interesting tactic to make the swap in the middle of the at-bat. But here's the payoff. Fouled off.
That's fouled off way over the box toward Arapahoe Avenue.
Speaking of towards Arapahoe Avenue, where do you want to get dinner after this?
Ooh, that is a fantastic question that I got to be honest, I have not thought about.
We'll talk about it more after this 3-2 pitch.
Absolutely.
Swung on, popped high into the air into shallow right center. Right fielder's coming on, and he's got it. So 2 down. Brings up Nathan Hoffman for his fifth trip to the plate.
Hoffman, senior president of Colorado Club Baseball. 2 strikeouts to start off his day, but
yeah, 2 flyouts that nearly left the yard. Made some very good contact. Just didn't quite get enough carry to it. Not a ton of wind today. It's a little breezy, but not enough one way or the other that would benefit his fly balls. Takes a strike.
temperatures are consistently dropping as the evening progresses here in Boulder.
Yeah, I mean, it was a pretty weird weekend of weather so far. As Hoffman hacks at that pitch well inside, 1-2. We had some snow, a bunch of it yesterday, blanketed this field, but it's all gone now besides some spotty little patches in right center. The 1-2 just misses. Yeah, that snow came out of complete nowhere.
Yeah,
because we've had a pretty disappointing winter here in Boulder.
Absolutely. I would have much rather had the snow that was on Friday. Would have much rather had that in either January or February and have it stick around for a little bit. But you're right, Harrison. Very mild winter in Boulder.
Yeah.
A rarity, for sure.
I'm sure we'll have plenty more of those in the future, unfortunately. The
Yeah.
3-2. Swung on, hit pretty well out to right center, but another fly out that goes for naught for Nathan Hoffman, and that ends the inning.
Quick inning from both squads. Colorado especially is 2 strikeouts in a row, first from Melberg and then Hoffman. And that'll do it for the 8th. Colorado's still up by 3.
So 8-5 here. Let's head to the 9th. Utes down to our last 3 outs.
The end of the 8th inning. The Colorado Buffaloes scoring a game-high 26 points. The men's final game of the regular season, meanwhile, might be its toughest. The Buffaloes hosted number 2 Arizona Wildcats on Saturday night. The Wildcats recently clinched the regular season Big 12 title and have not lost a game in 3 weeks. The freshman duo of Braden Burries and Koa Pete have dominated all season and will look to spoil Colorado's senior night. The Buffs have their work cut out for them in their last game before the Big 12 tournament.
Speaking of the Big 12 tournament, our very own Oliver Hayes is ready to break down the Black and Gold's chances come next week.
Hey, my name is Oliver Hayes, and welcome back to this week's edition of Buff Banner. And happy Jason Tatum Day to all those celebrating. But looking at the Colorado men's basketball team's chances in the Big 12 tournament, a path to the Big 12 where they could punch their ticket to March Madness. It seems to be the only way that they could do so given the season that they've had. Let's take a look at what they could do in Kansas City next week. So far with the current standing, the Buffs are set to be the 11th seed in the Big 12 tournament, and right now they're set to play number 14 seed Baylor. Out of all the teams that the Buffs could have played between I believe it was Oklahoma State and Kansas State, Baylor was the tough pull of those 3, given that the Bears beat up the Buffs in Waco earlier this season by quite a number of points. I believe it was 19 in that one due to the scoring array that the Bears have. So a tough matchup for the Buffs in the first round, but they're looking to get revenge. The Buffs have been playing well down the stretch this season, and having played some of the better teams in the conference, I'm sure that with their front court, even though Sebastian Ranchik is dealing with an injury, may be able to handle the smaller Bears. Now, if we look at the second weekend, where the Buffs will have to face number 6 TCU, they have a much better matchup there, just personnel-wise, from the guards to the big men, where TCU kind of lacks. The Buffs match up quite well. Both teams have six-foot guards in the backcourt, and I think this could be a very fun game, even though the
Colorado is 3 outs away from a spring home opening victory here at Scott Carpenter, but not if the Utah Utes have anything to say about it. They'll face Nathan Hoffman, the president who took off the batting gear and immediately put on the pitching glove. Moving in from center field as he'll face 3 last batters for the Utes. I believe this is a pinch hitter. Or no, this is Joshua Willis. So Joshua Willis stands in. Senior from Hurricane, Utah. Graduate of Diamond Ranch Academy. Has a home run on the season, along with 5 RBIs. That ball smoked foul down the right side. First base coach had the duck. But Kieran, we were talking about it earlier. Would you want to let the audience know where we're heading dinner? Potentially.
Potentially. We're thinking Shake Shack.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are.
Which is just up the block on 29th Street. So
yeah, we'll be there soon. 0-2 the count on Willis. Started in the outfield today. Hoffman's pitch. Swing and a miss. 1 down in the 9th.
Shortstop, number 24, James Roberts.
That brings up James Roberts, the shortstop. Had a single and an error and a hit by pitch his last 2 times up. Has scored a run as well.
Colorado with their first strikeout of the inning, looking to continue that trend to close out the top of the 9th.
So as we mentioned, at the very beginning of this broadcast, Hoffman has been Colorado's closer. He's been their starting center fielder. He's played in right field. Seen him at shortstop. And one of the best hitters. Has made some good contact today. Didn't have too good of luck as that pitch popped up shallow center. And he's coming on, and he makes the catch. 2 down in the ninth.
Nathan Hoffman,
Catcher
I'm
number 0, Owen
sure he would be crowned the most versatile player on
he's
this Colorado squad.
Quite easily, yeah. I mean, there's plenty of players who pitch and hit and do their thing, but in terms of the difficulty of positions that Hoffman takes on, this being a save situation, I mean, I definitely most versatile by far. First pitch to the last chance for the Utes. Owen Miller as a strike. 2 outs here in the top of the ninth. 8-5 your score. Colorado looking to seal the deal. That's a strike. 0-2. Hoffman's 1 strike away from a clean save here in the home opener. The 0-2. Tapped over to first, and it's a line out to end this one. Colorado takes it 8-5 over Utah with, get this, 1 hit. 1 hit. And they get the win to open the spring season.
As a public service announcement to everyone,
Utah takes a tough L as we get a PSA about daylight savings, but what are your biggest takeaways from this win, Kieran?
Oh, my goodness. Harrison, this was what Colorado needed coming to Scott Carpenter for the first time this spring season. Very close game, and especially as we got into those middle innings after the third. But overall, I would say Colorado just dominated heading into the 8th, and Nate Hoffman with an easy closer on the mound in the 9th.
So Colorado takes the 8-5 victory, but we got to shout out some of the good efforts from Utah today. Samuel Snyder, biggest hit of today, a 3-run home run in the 6th that gave Utah some life and put them down just 5-4. But the rest of the way, Buffs outscoring the Utes 3-1. So they'll get the win, moving to 4-1 on the young season. And they'll take on Utah 2 more times tomorrow here at Scott Carpenter. First pitch set for 11-1. Obviously, time of the first game permitting. That'll be right here on Sco Buff Sports. Oh, and I would be remiss if I didn't mention the other sports Sco Buffs will be streaming tomorrow. We'll have MCLA men's lacrosse action as Colorado takes on Boston College at Kittredge Field. And then as well as the NCSA Colorado Club softball team, who will be playing Air Force at 11-1 as well.
So lots of games happening at 11 a.m. I'll be on the call for the lacrosse game at Kitt Field.
And this will be our first ever softball game on the Sco Buff Sports YouTube. We tried one on the Instagram Live last year. Didn't work out too well, but we're hoping this time it works out a little better. But in the meantime, Colorado will take home an 8-5 victory over Utah. And for Kieran Warger, for Noah Bushke, for Balin Weissup, for Brittany Garcia, and for our producer, Nick Evans. So long from Scott Carpenter Park. I'm Harrison Simeon. You heard it here first.
The women's lacrosse team recently squared off against Army in West Point, with Army scoring first in the competition. The Buffs were left trailing for most of the first quarter until a late goal by Avery Gardner tied it up. The Buffs ran up the score, ending the half 9-1. However, a surge by Army in the second half made it 11-6. After a huge momentum shift and 2 more goals, the Buffs came away with the victory, winning 13-6.
2 players from Colorado's women's lacrosse team earned a Big 12 honors this week. Senior defender Jess Peluso earned a Big 12 Defender of the Week, marking Peluso's 3rd time winning the award in just 4 weeks. Sophomore goalkeeper Elena O earned a Big 12 Goalkeeper of the Week, marking O's 4th consecutive week earning the award.
Colorado hopes to carry its momentum coming off a big win against Army to Ann Arbor as they face Michigan. The Buffs are 3-5 all-time against Michigan and look to flip the script from the last time they met in 2025, suffering a 12-7 loss. First draw is set for 11 a.m. on Sunday and will be streamed on Big Ten Plus.
Last week, our Buffalo ski team dominated in the RMISA Championships in Bozeman, Montana and Midway, Utah. For Nordic skiing, Tilda Bangeman secured another victory in the 20K freestyle. The men were not as lucky, with the highest finishing Buff, Johannes Flatten, finishing 5th. On the alpine side, Louisa Acambre won the women's giant slalom, posting the fastest run times for both runs. In the men's giant slalom, the Buffs swept the podium, with Feb Alicina, Philip Volquist, and Justin Bigetel finishing 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. The Buffs are looking forward to competing in the upcoming NCAA championships this week.
Colorado Track and Field has qualified 3 individuals and 1 relay team for the NCAA Indoor Championships. Avery Pearson will lead the Buffs competing in the women's 800 meters. Pearson punched her ticket at the Colorado Last Chance meet with a time just under 2 minutes on the men's side. Colorado's distance medley relay of Justine Kipkich, Danny Tragars, Drew Costello, and Isaiah Gibbons will make an appearance. Cole Matheson and TJ Hansen will join the squad as alternates. Gibbons and Kipkich will also double back in the men's mile. The NCAA Indoor Championships will take place March 13th through 14th in Fayetteville, Arkansas, and will begin streaming on ESPN+.
The tennis team is coming off a split weekend on the road to open Big 12 play. The Black and Gold swept the Iowa State Cyclones on Friday, while the Jayhawks swept the Buffs 4-0 on Sunday. Colorado returns home this weekend to open up conference play on the Front Range. The 4-4 Kansas State Wildcats roll on the border tonight at 6 p.m., while the 5-4 Cowgirls of Oklahoma State take on the Buffs early on Sunday at 10:30 a.m. Catch both matches at the Meadows Club right here in Boulder.
Welcome to Folsom Feud. I'm your host, Colby, here with 3 contestants today, Lincoln, Balin, and Kieran. Lincoln, start us off.
I'll take game day etiquette for 200.
All right. This is the best way to show respect during the CU fight song.
What is standing, singing loud, and raising your hand in the hook 'em horn sign?
Not what we're looking for. Balin, you have an answer?
What is stand up, sing loud, and do the Ralphie horns?
Correct. Balin, the board is yours.
Give me tailgate traditions for 400.
All right, here's the answer. The must-have item to wear on game day to show your Buff pride. Kieran?
What is black and gold?
That's correct. Nothing says school spirit like those 2 colors. Choose the next one.
Let's do fan etiquette for 600.
Fan etiquette. The proper response when you hear someone yell, "Go Buffs."
What is Skull Buffs?
Skull Buffs is right. Looks like we've got some true Buffs fans here. But thank you all for tuning in. Thank you to our contestants, and see you next time.
The men's golfers moved up to number 47 in the nation after taking home hardware at the Wyoming Desert Intercollegiate. The Buffaloes look to add to their trophy case at the Lambkin San Diego Classic starting on Monday. Number 38 Long Beach University is the highest ranked team participating in the tournament, followed by Colorado. The Buffs are beginning a tough stretch of their season, competing in tournaments in 3 straight weeks.
Coming off a first-place finish, the women's golf squad looks to replicate that success at the Game Above Invitational on Monday. The 2-day tournament in Palos Verdes, California will feature the first 2 rounds on Monday and the final round on Tuesday. The Buffaloes will face some tougher competition in this tournament, highlighted by the number 2 USC Trojans and the number 3 Oregon Ducks. Colorado has one more tournament after this one before the Big 12 championship.
Outdoor club sports are officially upon us, Buff fans, and it all begins this Friday. This week, the Colorado Buffaloes men's lacrosse team returns to Kittredge Field in their home opener. The Buffs take on number 19 Arizona State on Friday at 8 p.m. and Boston College on Sunday at 11 a.m.
The club baseball team begins the full swing of their season this weekend against Utah. It's the home opener at Scott Carpenter Park as the Buffs look to continue their hot start. They went 3-1 in the Dallas tournament in February thanks to strong pitching and hot runs on offense. Game 1 starts Saturday night at 7 p.m. and Sunday holds a doubleheader starting at 11. Scope Up Sports is your home for club baseball all weekend long, streamed live right here on our YouTube.
Club softball's back in action this weekend as the Buffs host a 3-game series against Air Force Academy at East Mapleton Ball Fields in Boulder. The series begins Saturday at 11 a.m. and wraps up Sunday at 11 a.m. and 1 p.m. Colorado will look to build momentum and defend their home field as they continue their push through the spring season.
Hey, Buff fans, I'm Kieran Walker bringing you this week's top 5 plays in Colorado sports. A hoops-heavy week, so we're diving right in with number 5. It's women's hoops first, Desiree Wooten. Matter of fact, going out, she's going to step back and launch for 3, and she'll get it from downtown against the BYU Cougars in Provo. Look at that step back, and she launches from downtown in Provo, Utah. That was a disappointing loss at the end, but still, a great play. Now it's taken. Here's Alan McKaylee. Sends it over to Hargress. Back to McKaylee. And he goes in for the slam against the Utah Utes. Ladies and gentlemen, Alan McKaylee with a beautiful, beautiful slam. Now, let's go over to women's lax. And Sophia Yaskulsi with the underhand goal against the Army Black Knights in my hometown of West Point, New York. Ladies and gentlemen, what a play. Very close to home, in fact. Now let's go back to that Utah game of men's hoops. Barrington Hargress to Josiah Sanders to Isaiah Johnson, and he launches for 3 and gets it from downtown. Beautiful setup. There's Sanders over to Johnson in the corner, and he'll launch from outside. Ladies and gentlemen, a dominating win for Colorado over the Utes in Salt Lake City. Now here's Desiree Wooten again against the Cougars. She'll take it herself on the steal, and 1, ladies and gentlemen, going in for the basket, and she draws the foul. Ladies and gentlemen, what a play by Desiree Wooten against the BYU Cougars in Provo, Utah. Colorado women's hoops now in Kansas City, advancing in the Big 12 tournament. That's all I've got this